free? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and Bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a Bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and Bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, company truck accident, a car accident, or work-related accident? Call Alabama's largest personal injury firm. Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys will fight for every dollar you deserve, and it won't cost you a dime. Trust me. What do you say, man?
Call me, Alabama.
Call 659-777-7777 or go to Shinara.com.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Todd Fuhrman on the show in 1 hour to tell us his plays for the weekend and how you should be leaning on this championship weekend that has 4 games tonight. All of them pretty interesting games. James Madison's the one that could change the playoffs with Troy on the road trying to overcome a 3-touchdown deficit in that one. We'll talk about those games today. The big ones tomorrow, including Alabama and Georgia, coming up on the show. You should know that if you're in our social media SEC ticket giveaway, we'll announce the winner coming up at 10:30 live on the air. That's right in the middle of the show, brought to you by our friends at Baumhauer's. So we'll give that away live at 10:30 coming up on the show. Next week, I'm being told in my ear that we'll give away this year's Pick 3 winner. We'll make a drawing on that next week. So
we're givers.
Yeah, it's that time of year. It's the giving time of year. But we start the show off today with what has been the feeling for a few days in Tuscaloosa, but apparently it was this way all along. Kalen DeBoer finally gets asked face-to-face about his feelings on his name being mentioned for the Penn State opening. Here's the Alabama head coach.
What do you think when people link you to the Penn State job and say that you and your family aren't happy at Alabama?
Yeah, we are extremely happy at Alabama. It's the first time I've been asked, so I appreciate you, Charlie. And we are extremely happy here. Love the challenge, love the grind, love this place. And there's never been any link. There's never been any conversation. There's never been any interest either way. And so I'm glad we can put that to bed right now.
And that's part of the reason why his wife, as Aaron told you the other day, did the first interview she's done since she's been here for Yay Alabama. The perception that they were not happy here, that this and that. And I love the way he did this. Well, I love the challenge. I love the grind. I love this place. I mean, the challenge and the grind is one of the reasons why he took the job, but some people were playing it up that the challenge and the grind was one of the reasons he wants out.
Yeah, I think a lot of people believe that. But again, you look at the situation, and it's Penn State, and this is a team that fired their coach mid-season, that at 8 calendar months before had played in the semifinals of the college football playoff. So it's not like you're trading one fan base that has unrealistic expectations for another. I don't think he was entirely truthful there, though. And I think Kalen DeBoer is a very truthful guy, but there is interest on Penn State's side.
Well, that's on Penn State's side.
Not on
his.
Yeah. No, but the way he said that, there's not interest on either side.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, can you play that very last part of the clip again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but
just play the whole thing.
Yeah.
And love this place. And there's never been any link. There's never been any conversation. There's never been any interest either way. And so I'm glad we can put that to bed right now.
Oh, well,
yeah. And I don't think that's true. Now, maybe he doesn't know about it. Maybe he's so far removed.
Yeah, maybe it was Jimmy Sexton who shut it right down before it ever got to Kalen.
Because he is, I mean, by all accounts, and everybody says that really knows him, salt of the earth, like very, very honest, transparent guy. So maybe he has removed himself so far away from it. But Penn State is definitely interested.
I think Penn State would take him today if he was saying yes. I mean,
a lot of college programs would.
Yeah, sure. This never made any sense to me. It was a reporter that went on Ryan Fowler's show. Ryan does a good show over in Tuscaloosa.
I first reported it up there, and then Ryan got him on to explain his report. Yeah.
So he threw it out there as a hot board type thing, but then when pressed on it, was like, oh no, there's interest from Penn State. It wasn't like, oh wait a minute, I was just throwing out names. I mean, this guy kind of backed it up, and this was the newspaper that covers Penn State in Happy Valley in State College. So it was a hometown newspaper there, but it never made any sense to me because the theory behind all of this was Alabama is such a pressure cooker. It surprised him. The family didn't like it because it was a pressure cooker, and he felt like he wasn't going to be appreciated for doing a good job at Alabama. Well, by the way, all three of those things are at Penn State, and it's a worse job. So that's why it never made one bit of sense to me that Kalen DeBoer would even consider this. I never gave this story. I mean, you can't, this day and age, completely discount anything anymore.
I've done it a couple of times. When Dennis Franchione stood in front of his house and told me on camera back in my NBC 13 days, there's no interest between me and Texas A&M. I'm not going anywhere. I like it here. And then 2 days later, he's on a plane. Yeah. I felt used there.
Yeah, I mean, typically
you are used.
Yeah, you are going to believe that. I mean, you got to take a guy at face value in a situation like that. I don't know how much I buy into the wife's not happy anymore, because when you're uprooted from a place that you maybe get comfortable with, it's going to take a little bit of time to get acclimated, right? Like,
oh, sure.
I don't think within a year or two, like, you have laid down the structure of friends. And this is part of, unfortunately, the money's great. The hours are terrible. There's a lot of negatives that go with the positives. But, you know, I mean, you got to find an entirely new support group, you know, friend group. I mean, all of that is really, really difficult to build. You guys have talked to military kids before that moved around.
Oh, Lance, I grew up in Anniston. Fort McClellan was open. The Army brats. I was talking to somebody about this last night who served in the military.
It's a different kind of cat, too, because they got to have a really thick skin.
Right as you would get to really, really know them well, the Army would transfer them elsewhere. You know, they'd come to school and say, hey, you know, we're moving to Fort McHenry or wherever, you know. So, yeah, that was always kind of sad because you would make good friends with these Army kids, and they would move out. So that happened all the time. A lot of them went to Sachs High School, where I graduated proudly.
Yeah. I will tell you that somebody close to the family would tell you that nothing means more to Kalen DeBoer than the three ladies in his life, his wife and his two daughters. And they've moved around a few times in the last few years. And I would imagine keeping them in one place for a while is an important thing on the family to-do list. So that was an interesting part going into the SEC championship weekend. And Charlie, who asked the question there, the part that wasn't on there, he says, hey, since we've got to be here for 30 minutes, it was a mandated 30-minute news conference, and you've already had a couple opportunities on a teleconference and all this to ask questions. And when I was over there the other day, everybody was like, we got that 30-minute news conference tomorrow. We're running out of questions to ask about this game and stuff. So it was a great opportunity for that question to pop up. And I love the way Coach DeBoer answered it there going into this actual game weekend. We'll get to the injury report, which impacts the actual game on the field. But it's nice to, the interview with the wife on Yay, Alabama. And if you're not a member, you can go join it, Yay, Alabama, and check that out. Aaron Suttle is a big part of that, and we appreciate what Aaron does for us up here. And then Kalen DeBoer's comments there. I sent out a picture on my social media, a very small part of this, but just how happy the wife and the two daughters were after the win at the Iron Bowl. They're taking a picture, and then you just hear stories about how his wife is a bigger competitor than he is. Like, he has this unbelievable competitive drive to win and always seems to win, and his wife is like ×2.
Wow,
when it comes to competition, and she I think he would tell you was the better athlete in the family in her basketball career and stuff. So it's a competitive family. Daughter, of course, Big Ten Freshman of the Year in softball at Washington. And I think competitive people like to be in competitive situations. And I can't think of a better competitive situation than coaching in the SEC right now. To that injury report and the game going on the field, brought to you by our friend Alexander Shinara Browning.
Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys, the place to go when you're in need of an attorney for any issue. You start with Alexander Shinara. Shinara.com. Shinara.com. This is a Birmingham guy, Birmingham born and bred. He has built his firm right here in Birmingham. More than 25 years, up to more than 150 attorneys, more than 500 team members right there at Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys. And guess what that means? They've recovered more than $2 billion with a B for their clients. You can be one of those. When you are in need of an attorney, you need to start with our guy, Alexander Shannara. Shannara.com, Shannara.com.
Hey, look, we talk about it all the time. Very important for your health that you get that proper 8 hours of sleep every single night. Our friends at O'Neill Medical and CPAP Plus, they can help you out. And, hey, look, if you're on a CPAP right now, they are running their Show Your Score promotion right now. Just stop by one of the O'Neill's locations in Birmingham, Pelham, Trussville, Highway 280 right there in Inverness. Show your ResMed My Air Sleep Score. You're automatically entered to win a brand new ResMed Air Mini Travel CPAP worth $900. The Show Your Score raffle runs through December 31st, so you've only got a month. Don't miss out. Get all the details, o'neillmed.com. That is ONEAL med.com.
All right, injuries to talk about. Before we show you the injury report, I want you to hear Kalen DeBoer talk yesterday about LT Overton. Overton listed as out, as is Kevin Riley and a handful of others for Alabama. You'll see the report in a second. But LT Overton, big part of that Alabama front seven on defense, out for this game. Kalen DeBoer talks about it.
With LT being out, what do you, I guess, plan on, or who do you plan on inserting in that bandit spot? Kind of what's the idea there?
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, throughout the year, we've rotated a lot across the board on our team, but defensively in particular. And so, the guys that have rotated with LT and, fortunately, Quay Rusaw also, when you talk about the edge position, he's played the last couple games. And so, we'll get more reps for him. He's ready for it. Yanze will continue to ramp up his load. And so, we have guys that have played a lot of snaps that will continue to, just play the role that they've been playing. Maybe a few more snaps, that they'll get.
Yeah, so there's that magical combination we talked about earlier this week, Quay Rusaw and Yanze Pierre. Pierre blossoming because of the Rusaw injury, and now with Rusaw back healthy, a chance now for them to be both on the field a little bit more with Overton out.
Yeah, it's what we talked about with the film guy twice now about those two being on the field at the same time, and it is an interesting combo, and it's also a combo that Alabama hasn't thrown out there a lot. How does that impact Georgia on their game planning? I think it would have to have some impact just because you haven't seen it a lot. Now, the downside of this, Lance, is you could make an argument. If you go back to that game in Athens, the single biggest play of the game was LT Overton. Georgia, some would say inexplicably, went for it on fourth down. I was a little bit surprised Kirby didn't take points there either, even though I've defended Kalen DeBoer for not taking over the Iron Bowl. It was different situations. And they run Cash Jones, and LT Overton hits him in the back, or trips him, really.
Yeah, I mean, really, it was a hand to the foot.
Yeah, that might have been the single biggest play in that game, and that's the guy that's not going to be playing this week.
Maybe of the season for Alabama when you think about it.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you think back on it, because Cash Jones gets to the end zone there, that's going to be a tough game for Alabama to win, and they come away empty. And that was LT Overton making that play.
But, this defense, it seems like when there's a piece out here, a piece there, they still – they show up. Since the Florida State loss in the opener, they haven't given up more than 24 points in a game.
And that's not fluky.
That's a sweet number.
It really is.
Yeah.
I forgot what Kalen DeBoer's numbers were when they score 27-plus, but
yeah,
it's pretty strong.
I would think normally 24 would win any game Alabama plays. The offensive late, maybe not.
Oklahoma was the one they lost, 23-21.
Yeah.
That was right there on it, and it was flukish.
That was a bit of a fluky 23. I'm not trying to take anything away from Oklahoma. They earned those points.
And that's how they've done it all year.
But that didn't go on Alabama's defense. The 23 points, that was not on Alabama's defense.
It did not. Other side, before you see the full list, so you can consume that, the other side of this is a big injury for Georgia, and that's their starting center, Drew Bobo. He is listed as out for the game. Not even questionable. He is out. Here is Kirby Smart on his problems, injury-wise, at center.
Have you decided on the starter yet for the game Saturday?
Again, that's not something that we're prepared to disclose right now. I think those guys are working, and they're getting better. And good thing is we got three of them that are very capable.
Three of them. You know what they say. If you got three centers, you don't have one.
Yeah.
This game I'm starting to feel is going to be important to Kirby. There's a lot of Georgia fans that are like, hey, man, we just can't beat this team right now. But I think there's, a lot of reasons. Obviously they want to get healthy. Worst case, they're going to be hosting a playoff game at home. But if they win, they know they've got extra time off. He needs to get, sooner or later, the monkey off the back that is Alabama, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're absolute worst case is a 5-12 home game, I think.
I would agree.
Yeah, I agree. But tell them what Georgia friends of yours are telling you.
I have taught, Lance knows one of them. I've talked to 3 different Georgia fans that live here in Birmingham, okay? And I've asked all 3 the same question, are you heading to the game Saturday? And they all laugh. They're like, why would you think I'm going to that game? I'm like, it's an SEC championship game. And they're like, do you know the scar tissue? There's a variation of this phrase. They don't all say the same thing. Do you know the scar tissue I have built up from watching us play Alabama in that building? And I'm like, really? Like, and
they even tore down the old building to try to make it new.
Our mutual friend, I said, oh, that's right, I forgot. You don't go watch Alabama play Georgia, or you don't go watch Georgia play Alabama in Atlanta. He goes, I don't watch Georgia play Alabama in Athens. And this guy goes to every game. I don't watch Georgia play Alabama in Tuscaloosa. I don't watch him play Alabama in Atlanta.
Ken did go up to Indianapolis, though, so
he did.
win.
So I did point that out. I was like, you were in Indianapolis, or she goes, as of now, that's the only place I'll go watch Georgia play.
I mean, it is interesting that they are kind of resigned to the fact. And, there's still that little bit of piece of hope for teams that want Alabama out of this. You heard Reese say, look, I don't think it's probable at all, but I guess it's possible. But if Kirby was to really lay it on them, like I would – Kirby does not want to see Alabama in the college football playoff.
Yeah, I heard former Ohio State quarterback, now Big Ten analyst Cardale Jones today on Dusty and Danny on Sirius XM, and he thinks that Alabama loses, they're out. That was Cardale's opinion.
What's Cardale doing with his life now?
Yeah.
He's on the Big Ten Network.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, look, that would be much more controversial, in my opinion, than Notre Dame getting in over Miami. By the way, I did an impromptu, quick Lance's Lock podcast last night, and I am convinced now Miami's going to get in. And I played them. I maxed out. I don't even gamble really anymore. I played them at plus 410.
Yeah, you could hear Mario Cristobal yesterday talking on signing day, talking at his signing day news conference. He laid out in a very good, concise way of why Miami is better than Notre Dame, and it was pretty convincing. But Marcus Freeman probably just as convincing about Notre Dame's status when we heard him yesterday.
So did Cardale think it was BYU winning, knocking Alabama out, or just any Alabama loss?
He just thought if Alabama loses,
so it's either going to be BYU winning and getting in, or they're going to put in both Miami and Notre Dame in his mind.
He thought the discussion was about who do you think wins Georgia, Alabama, and he says I think Georgia wins the game, though it's more important for Alabama because Georgia's in regardless. If Alabama loses, they're out.
Yeah.
Cardale Jones, not a homer, by the way, said I would sort of like to see Indiana win the Big Ten championship game because both are going to be in, and I just respect so much what Kirk Cinetti has done in Indiana. It'd be cool for him to win a championship.
I bet Ohio State fans are like, what the hell are you talking about?
And then Kirk.
And two Cardale?
Can you imagine Jake Coker saying that? Like if Alabama was playing literally like A&M or Ole Miss for hey, it's their first trip. We've won so many of these. I think it would be really cool.
And then Cardale, when asked about who do you think wins the Heisman, is it? And he says, I really think it should go to Diego Pavia. And he had a good point on that. And I'll save that point for later on, but it was really good. And then they asked him, so do you think who's the better quarterback in this Big Ten championship game? And he's like, guys, come on now.
Okay,
it's going to be this Julian Sayin, though it's all very close, but I got to say Julian Sayin there. So foot to fire there for Cardale on the interview today. But really good Big Ten Network guy. Here's the injury report full, because there's some good news for Alabama if you believe that questionable, which still is not probable or likely.
But not out.
But it's not out. Questionable now is where you find Josh Cuevas. Out last week, questionable now. That's where you find Jam Miller as well. And new to me is now Cam Dewberry, who is there questionable, the offensive lineman who's been really, really good. One-time Texas A&M player, I believe, now at Alabama. And he's been so good on the offensive line. He's on the questionable side now. So that's sort of a slight upgrade for Cuevas, about where you expected Jam to be. And now you got Dewberry to factor in, too. A beat-up team.
Well, yeah, it is a beat-up team. But of all those guys, I think Cuevas, we would probably agree, is the most important ingredient to that offense. And here's what I would say. I didn't think there was any chance, and we still had Detroit, big 7-star play over Dallas last night. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I didn't think he was going to play. And, I had the ankle injury, and first play gets 7-yard grab and then has a big grab in the fourth down on one of the final possessions, goes for 92 yards, and nobody expected him to play. So, You never know.
Well, I mean, I was going to ask that question. You've already answered it. If I give you one of those three, is Cuevas the one you take?
That offensive line's been playing good.
So you can make a case for Dewberry. I think a lot of people would say Jam Miller over Cuevas. I'm kind of with Lance. I think I go Cuevas.
Well, here's the deal. Okay, the offensive line, when it plays good, that allows Ty time to throw and do all the Ty magic. But when you look at the team right now, even if Ty has time, where are the weapons? Like Jam, if he's out, he's beat up, good receiving back, good pass pro. If Cuevas isn't there, whatever's happening, whether it's illness, sickness, or whatever with Ryan Williams, the production's not there. Germ is beat up, self-admitted on our show. He's battling late season bangs and bruises. Isaiah Horton, really effective in the red zone, but, where is he, getting down the field? Lottie Brooks is really good, but you start looking at, okay, if Ty is healthy, Ty's beat up too, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Just
about everybody is.
But he's really banged up. But if Ty's, closer to 100% than he's been lately, you still look down the field and you're like, boy, everybody's throwing to sort of banged up. So having Cuevas healthy would be good, but I think it starts with the offensive line. If I had to choose one of those guys, I would play. Hopes can play and play it effective. I would go Cam, Josh, and James.
So here's what I would say is I don't think you lose on the front end as much from Jam Miller to Daniel Hill. I've said it many times. I think Hill's actually the better running back. What do I know, though?
And I'm with LT. I think A.K. Deere is wasn't it Justice Haynes? Help me with my memory at the Rose Bowl against Michigan.
It was
where he had a couple of big runs.
He had like 6 or 7 carries out of nowhere.
Yeah. And big runs. One of them was a really explosive run, and I think if Jam can't go, that you may get one of those or two from A.K. Deere in this game. He's the kind of guy that could hop out there and make that happen.
I mean, you heard DeBoer when he was asked after the Iron Bowl, is there any chance you guys would miss this playoff? He's like, I don't think so. So I think everybody involved in this game believes Alabama's getting in regardless of the outcome. So if you're Alabama, why not let him play in some big moments? Because moving forward, there's a good chance if you really want a home run hitter-like guy, you want to make sure he gets better in pass pro, and you want to make sure he doesn't lay the ball on the ground. Those are the two big keys. So why not give him some really good reps in a meaningful game? But if you lose it, it's not the end of the world.
Well, it could be, though. I mean, when you say think we're in, I need to take that off the table. I need it to be we're in the game. And some of that may just be playing close. But one thing about A.K. Deere is that this is now game 13. And so he has progressed a lot as the year goes on. Given the opportunity on Saturday, maybe he does what Justice Haynes did in that game against Michigan a couple of years ago.
I don't want to pick on him. I don't mean to. But it was just an obvious miss. And I'm not going to remember exact down and situation, but there was a play out of the backfield where Jam Miller was wide open. And the pass came quick.
It was a little too quick, too hard.
It was,
but swing pass left side.
It was quick, hard, but absolutely on his hands.
It was.
I mean, he did not have to move his hands to catch it.
I'm not saying Ty threw it too quickly.
No, I think Ty had to throw it quickly.
Yeah, and Jam may have been late turning.
He was
looking back.
All those things were true. Yes,
but it was zipped, but it was right on his hands. Like he almost caught it without seeing it.
Right,
that's how good of a throw
he put it right on his hands.
As he turned around, it almost stuck in his hands.
I can't remember.
I know the play.
Well, I know the play. I just can't remember the exact situation, but I remember thinking, that was a key drop right there.
Yeah.
Because that game was known for drops. I mean, Auburn had a lot of key drops, too.
They had it blocked on the edge, and it was going to go a long way. And you could see Nick Sheridan's reaction on the sideline as he dropped it because they knew they had it set up for a big play.
And Ty, he was under pressure, so he had to get it out quick. And you're right. It came quick. It came hard. He had not turned his head yet. But, I mean... Yeah. That was just a tough play.
I think that was on the drive that ended up being 4th and 2 later on. I think that was the key moment in the game.
Maybe so. I thought they were going the other way, but I could be wrong.
It was left to right on the television screen when it happened.
4th and 2 was right to left, though.
Was it?
Yeah.
I was watching the game backwards.
I know you were watching for the press box.
I was on the sidelines.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah,
did you guys? So so Kirby has coached in 34 top 10 matchups. What do you think his record would be in 34 top 10 matchups?
Well, I'm going to say all 7 of these against Alabama. Well, I don't know if he was top 10, but
No, Alabama was 17th this year, so I'll give you that.
Okay, that's true.
So the other ones were all top 10.
So all six other losses were top 10. So there's at least 6 losses out of 34.
Yeah.
38.
38. So that would make it 32. I'm going to say.
Let's say 30 and how many is it? 38.
It's I mean 34.
So
34 top 10 matchups.
Oh, it's 34 top 10 matchups. Okay, I thought you said 38. So 34, take away those.
34, take away those 6.
26.
I mean, that's your minimum number right now is 28.
I want to say 22 wins.
I'd say 20.
He's 24-10, but if you take the Alabama's away, he's 24-4 in top 10 matchups outside of Alabama.
I mean,
that is
amazing.
crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, like what was James Franklin in top 25 matchups? Like the opposite of that?
Yeah.
And he's 24-4.
James Franklin was 2 in
I
lifetime.
mean, since 2020, they're 1-5 against Alabama. Kirby is, and they're 71-3 against everyone else.
I mean, it is an Alabama problem. All Georgia fans know it. Kirby knows it. Everybody knows
because the
it.
rosters are always like.
Yeah,
they're always like.
Very much so. More on Alabama and Georgia throughout the show as we roll through this show that's being brought to you today by our friends at Woodhouse Stay Spa. Just a tremendous opportunity for you right now to jump on Woodhouse and get an unbelievable gift to maybe for somebody who works in your office, the secretarial pool, or that special someone in your life, the wife, the girlfriend. Maybe it's a teacher appreciation gift from our friends at Woodhouse.
Yeah, look, guys, we procrastinate, so I'm going to continue to remind you over the next 3 weeks the easy route for a great gift for that special person in your life, whether it's the wife, the girlfriend, the mom, the sister. You can get it right there at your fingertips. Just go to birmingham.woodhousespas.com. You can order 24/7 online, or you can stop into that beautiful location. They've also got accessories like robes and blankets and candles and different scents and things like that. The wife, the girlfriend, they're going to love that. Beautiful location right there, Summit Shopping Center. Stealth Stewart and the great staff there. The next round sent you, but again, you can order 24/7 online, get that gift card sent to you, and they can pick from a menu of over 70 options. The best day spa in all of Birmingham is right there at the Summit Shopping Centers. For more information, birmingham.woodhousespas.com.
All right, time for our tender moment of the day. It is presented by our friends at Bojangles. Those chicken tenders can be a great idea for that holiday party that you are planning. What a unique holiday party. Fried chicken, chicken tenders, those bow bites, the sides, the biscuits, the sweet tea. They can do it all for you right there at Bojangles. Hand-breaded chicken tender bites with that peach honey pepper dipping sauce available not only for the holiday parties, but also right now at Bojangles. Great idea for lunch coming up later today, dinner tonight. So whether it is breakfast, lunch, dinner, your holiday parties, your football watch parties, your tailgates, you can always make it bow time.
Siskey and McCready were talking about it last night on a show they were doing. LT said this would be a good tender moment of the day to follow up our conversation yesterday about Juice Kiffin, the lab over in Oxford. And LT, you sent us this tweet.
Man, it's one of those things that Maddie showed it to me, and then I'm going to sleep last night, and I think about it and just start laughing. But poor Juice, I mean, Tiger vibes. One of the best things about getting Lane Kiffin is that we get Juice Kiffin too. And then Ole Miss, what a clapback. Yeah. Who wants to tell him?
Who wants to tell him?
Yeah. And following up on what we told you yesterday, Neil was making it sound like that, first of all, the dog is about 12 years old, according to Neil. So it's an older lab, that he did spend most of the time at the kennel, and that the handler and the owner of the dog really loves Juice. And Juice, it's a 12-acre property. He gets to run around all the time on this dog property, and they're in Oxford. But the way Neil was portraying it last night, Lane has sent word he wants to take the dog down there, and Neil was roasting him, saying, "You're going to take this dog who's 12 to 14 years old away from an owner who loves him."
And the only reason you're doing it is because of the backlash.
The backlash, and he's saying you're going to do that, and you're going to roll him out for pictures down there, and then And Neil made it sound like the dog was injured one time because the way Neil was explaining it, I don't know the story, but he was making it sound like Lane had left some knives out, and the dog had injured himself on knives or something.
What?
Yeah, he's like, he injured himself playing with knives, and I was like, and
man, have you seen some of this?
But McCready said, and this was made me laugh out loud as I heard it. McCready said, "Forget the Ole Miss, LSU, everything. If you take this dog away from where he is right now, just for your ego, it will be the worst thing you have ever done, Lane." And I want you to listen to that sentence for a moment.
Yeah.
That is a great line.
You know, we all remember Tiger Woods. Once the allegation came out, they were flying.
It was one after
and,
another.
you know, I was watching the P. Diddy, and the P. Diddy Netflix is really, really well done. The Reckoning is what they call it, because he decided to have a videographer follow him around 6 days before he was actually arrested around New York City.
Bad timing, by the way.
But, man, you're talking about when one lawsuit went out, it goes to over 100 within just a couple of months. I don't know what's what with AI now, but, man, these allegations that are coming up, Kiffin now, the screenshots and everything.
I've got somebody that is sending these to me. Like, I don't see them all, but somebody that's
they're uncomfortable, the ones I've seen.
Somebody that's very active on social media that is sending me these, and it is one after the other that they're texting to me.
They're in a little compilation under a hashtag called Lanestein.
Yeah,
Like
the Lanestein files.
the Lanestein files.
Lanestein files.
Yeah. And it's one after another. It's the hot yoga instructors. It's the co-eds. I mean,
One lady in hot yoga said he would come to hot yoga and not do any yoga. He would just sit in the back of the room and watch
in the chair.
Creep.
That's
This is
allegedly,
the guy.
Allegedly.
This is
He
the
always looked like
guy
he worked up a sweat to me.
that I don't know. I guess you love him if he's your coach.
Yeah, well, LSU does.
Until you don't.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people cheering against him. I want you to listen to cut 13, if you will. No, let's go 12 first. Go 12 first.
You're right about cheering again. I was having that conversation at breakfast this morning. Met some friends for breakfast, and we were talking about how almost any sport needs a good villain.
Yep.
And we don't really have a good villain right now, but Lane Kiffin has become that.
Yeah, here's Joe Burrow, LSU legend.
Legend.
The best.
Yeah.
Maybe the best season of all time.
Yeah.
Now with the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe, at his real job, gets asked about the Lane Kiffin situation now at his school, LSU.
Have any thoughts on Lane Kiffin being hired at LSU?
I think he's a good coach. I guess we'll see how it goes. Those are my thoughts.
Did Lane ever recruit you at any point in time? No.
No.
Could you imagine playing in college football playoff or getting ready to and your coach leaving? Would you?
Is Ole Miss going to make the playoff?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly not an ideal situation. But does the rest of the staff stay or do they go too?
I think you let the OC loose to go be a play caller.
Yeah, certainly not an ideal situation for a playoff run, that's for sure.
Yeah, wow. Joe Burrow.
They got history, maybe?
They
probably fish from the same pond.
If you play it again from the beginning, Tyler, if you can. Watch his Morse. You can go ahead and hit it. Watch the Morse code eye blinking.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin being hired at LSU?
Now watch this. It's like he's sending a message with a Morse code. Yeah. And then the facial expression.
The shrug. Yeah.
Okay, that's enough.
That's not a ringing endorsement.
Yeah, far from it.
And then did he ever recruit you? No, he didn't.
And not a lot of people did.
Yeah. So there's that, and
Now,
then there's
Ohio
by the way,
right?
no, Lane was at Alabama though when Burrow was playing high school football, wasn't he?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So
because that would have been
Burrow,
14, 15, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Because Burrow was a senior or junior in 19, right? When he came out as a junior, didn't
Yeah,
he?
I think he
Redshirt
was in
junior.
Ohio State's 2015 class.
Maybe so.
No, that would have been right.
Yeah.
This is Joey McGuire. If you don't know what the head coach of Texas Tech looks like, you probably know what the $1 billion booster looks like more. This guy's up for National Coach of the Year, Joey McGuire of Texas Tech. His team's going to make the playoffs. He gets asked about the Lane Kiffin situation, and as they say in Texas, sometimes you go bigger.
Nobody's going to want to hear this, coaching-wise, but I'm at a place that I'm going to be for the rest of my life, so I don't really care, you know. But if we're going to be like the NFL, to where everybody's saying that, in the NFL there's a tampering for coaches also, and there's a penalty. And so, hey, if you're going to leave your team that's in the playoffs, maybe your team that you're going to is not eligible for the playoffs the next year.
Ooh.
Maybe that changes some of the things. Or, hey, you're going to leave your team for the playoffs. Nobody from your past team or your team that you're coaching at can go to the team that you're going to.
Ooh.
You know, that they're not eligible. They can get in the transfer portal, but they've got to go somewhere else. They can't follow you.
Whoa.
Until there's some penalties in that, we're going to get the same thing over and over.
LSU would have sacrificed both those to get Lane Kiffin.
Okay, they would have.
They would have.
Take the first one away. The second one, I mean, why have we not brought this up? That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but who does that hurt? Kurt Signetti in Indiana. That first year, the Madison
No,
guys
no,
come.
They don't exist.
Yeah.
No doubt,
Indiana
but that
doesn't
was
exist.
so under the radar because it's JMU players and they're going to Indiana, and like people are like, not a big deal.
But now
this
we
is
see
a big
people
deal.
trying to repeat that, though, right? Don't we see people trying to repeat the Signetti?
Oklahoma State is.
Yeah, they're trying to bring North Texas's running back and quarterback with the coach.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's the only reason they hired
Eric Morris
for North Texas, but buddy, it helped.
Yeah, and see, to your point, LT, you're free to go anywhere. You can still hit the transfer portal. You just can't go to that school that your former coach went to.
I think this makes the most sense because if you did that, then there is a chance if you did it in a gentleman's agreement type way that Lane Kiffin still coaches Ole Miss.
That's right, because he can't tamper with those players. They can't go to LSU regardless. And I'll tell you this. There's so many rules that the NCAA has anyway, like that. For instance, this is how minute and stupid, but I understand why it's there. If I'm a high school football coach, we'll just use where I call play-by-play at Vestavia. If I'm a high school football coach at Vestavia, if a school hired a coach, even an assistant coach, not even the head coach, just an assistant coach to be an analyst in college from Vestavia, for 2 years, that school where they hired me as an analyst can't recruit kids from Vestavia.
That started because of basketball.
Yeah.
Basketball is what got that started with the NCAA because all these schools, when they had, hotshot Lance Taylor, who was the top, 3 guard in the country, well, they would just go hire Lance's high school basketball coach as, a down-the-bench assistant.
Package deal.
Yeah, and of course what's going to happen, Lance's high school basketball coach is going to go tell Lance, hey, I know where we're going to college now.
Now, in typical way of bureaucracy and red tape, we can make that rule to penalize the lowest paid people on the coaching scale, but we can't make that rule for the guys making $13 million that you can't get players from your old pool when you leave Ole Miss to go to LSU. That's not apples and apples.
I just, all the people that we talk to that are affiliated with college football and all the intelligent people we talk to, and nobody's brought that up. Like, that's such an obvious but great point, and that's something that people need to run with that soundbite because I think if you implement that, it changes a lot.
But make no mistake, LSU sacrifices both those things to hire Lane Kiffin still. They would have said, we will not go to the playoffs next year, and we will not take any Ole Miss players.
Oh, I don't know about the playoffs.
100%. To get Lane Kiffin?
No.
That's how desperate
they
were
I don't
for
think
Lane Kiffin.
the first one doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
I agree with you, but I'm saying if it were a rule.
The NFL version of that is you give up a first-round draft pick.
But that's not basically sabotaging the season.
No, but it's giving up a first-round draft pick.
But before we ever get to what he's talking about, we're going to have a CBA for the players. They're going to have a union. We're going to have a collectively bargained agreement. And if LSU wants Ole Miss players, they're going to have to give Ole Miss something back for those players. That's the future.
First-round draft pick. Our friends at A+ bringing you that hot take there from a guy. That's actually the first soundbite I've ever heard from Joey McGuire. I like him a lot more now.
It made a lot of sense.
It made a lot of sense and a very Texas speak, man.
I'm going to be here my whole life.
Yeah, I don't blame him, man. A+.
Yeah, it's AlabamaBathRemodels.com is where you see more of this. AlabamaBathRemodels.com. Alabama, I should say, BathRemodels.com. Brad Bell is the guy I'm talking about when it came time to redo the master bath in the Brown House. Got showing you some before and afters there. My wife, Jennifer, scoured the internet looking for the right person for the job. Brad Bell was the guy she found after talking to a ton of contractors and people that had used contractors, reading a ton of reviews. Brad came out and looked at our job. We gave him our vision, and it's exactly what he did, and he did tremendous work for us. He can do the same for you. He specializes in master bath kitchen and master bedroom closets. Not all he does, but it is his specialty. That's important to you. You use those rooms a lot when you own a home. And when you go to sell your home, you can make some of your money back because those rooms really pop when people come to look at your house. See more, AlabamaBathRemodels.com, or just call Brad and let him quote you, 205-422-1758, 205-422-1758, or AlabamaBathRemodels.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, company truck accident, car accident, or work-related accident? Call Alabama's largest personal injury firm. Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys will fight for every dollar you deserve. And it won't cost you a dime. Trust me. What do you say, man?
Call me, Alabama.
Call 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. The beauty of the holiday is at the center of your table with the New York Butcher Shop. Their selection of USDA certified Angus prime rib roast, beef tenderloins, and fillets, as well as premium pork and lamb cuts, are the finest selections available in the market and are hand-cut just the way you want. With side dishes handmade by their professional chefs, your holiday meal is complete. Visit one of their 2 locations today, in Cahaba Heights or off Highway 119 in Greystone. Place your order today. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and Bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a Bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and Bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Back with you on the Next Round as we roll on. Show number 1094 today. We'll talk more of the Heisman race going on. Tonight's games, interesting. Troy and James Madison. James Madison win keeps their playoff hopes alive, 6 o'clock ESPN. You see Brownie's sweatshirt. Jack State playing for a conference championship. Kennesaw State. Jack State 16-2 since coming up to the FBS in home games, and they're at home. What, you can't get a tight shot?
Yeah, they've won 18 of their last 20 CUSA games. I mean, they have been dominant in this conference.
And Kennesaw State, they played earlier this year at Jacksonville, right?
They did, and Jack State won the game, which is why they're the host tonight. I thought Kennesaw State, I watched a good bit of that game. I thought they were the better team that night, honestly. I think Jack State was fortunate to win.
They have just been, I mean, what an amazing job. I forgot the coach's name. It escapes me right now.
What a terrible program. What a new program.
Yeah, where they were to where they are now, but they can't win on the road, man. 3-13 in their last 16 out straight up.
And Jack State can't lose at home.
They seem like important stats to me. Yeah, Kennesaw State's still favored in this game.
I know.
Yeah.
Weird number.
It
is.
Yeah. More of that in just a second.
That's a 7-star play at RyansLock.com. Jack State plus the 2.5.
7 o'clock on main ABC, the American Championship. This is a playoff spot. North Texas and Tulane, right? That's a playoff game.
Yeah, this is, you talking about a game with implications. I mean, imagine if you've been a North Texas fan, I don't know how many there are. It's actually a pretty big undergrad. But now you have an opportunity to play your way into a college football playoff. I know Tulane's got history. It was kind of like maybe Ole Miss history. I mean, when was Tulane good?
They
were good.
Well, Tommy Bowden had the 1 year.
The Tommy Bowden undefeated season with Sean King at quarterback was good, but they were not considered for the playoffs. This is a playoff game because the winner's in.
Yeah, look,
James Madison may keep their hopes alive. The other game, 7 o'clock Fox, UNLV and Boise State, you can sort of keep your hopes alive depending if Duke wins or not and James Madison loses, but North Texas Tulane, the winner of that game's in.
Here's what's crazy. You could have Darian Mensah taking $4 million and going to Duke, getting into a college football playoff, and the team he left could get in the college football playoff. But how funny would it be if Tulane's in and Duke is out? But John Sumrall taking this Florida job should be in mix for National Coach of the Year. I know we were talking about Joey McGuire a minute ago, but Sumrall, if they win this game, they're 11-2. They're in the college football playoff. He's got the 51st scoring defense. He's got the 64th scoring offense. And they're just not that good. And now they're playing a team that has the number one scoring offense and a team over their last 6 games has averaged 585 yards of offense.
Yeah, he's continued to tell us this is not a good team.
Yeah.
I mean, Summerall has said it many, many times.
But when you guys watch them, do you think they are?
I don't.
No. But they
here they
find
are.
ways to win.
They do.
Yeah, which is a good sign, which is truthfully why a lot of people would have loved him at Auburn because he just finds a way to win. He's a gritty, hard-fighting winner. And we'll see if that works at Florida. And we'll get to the Saturday games other than Georgia and Alabama coming up later on. A lot of Georgia and Alabama still to come. Lance is locked for the plays tonight. Feels like he has a lean on Jacksonville State. Feels like he's got to play on North Texas Tulane. Lance'sLock.com brought to you by Hemphill.
Yeah, we will have these games up and available in a few hours, so jump on board. Free play every single day. We did a little specialty show last night. I gave you guys, if you want to go back and check that out, what I believe is really good value, which will be released Sunday morning from the selection committee. Vegas disagrees with me. We'll see how that thing plays out. We did have the Lions big 7-star, so a good way to kick off the weekend last night. More plays up and available. Always brought to you by our friends at Hemphill Services. Trust the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, cooling, any of those issues arising in your home or business. They are ready to serve you. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
For those that have watched all these years, this star thing seems to be new for you. 7-star play and things like that. So
yeah, just units. I mean, our kind of lowest play is kind of a 3-star, 4 is kind of the mid, and then 5 we work our way up. But
6 and 7, okay.
Yeah.
So a 7-star play, a winner. So
That's
there you go.
Big play.
That's a big play and a big winner there at Lance'sLock.com, brought to you by our friends at Hemphill. I don't know how many of you watching us, listening, or sitting beside me know that this is still a rule in modern day football, high school, college, and the NFL. Scott Forster, back row, has video. It actually happened last night, historically, in an Alabama high school state championship game. Forster, what did you witness with your own 2 eyes last night that is still part of a modern-day football in America?
So out of all the football games I've ever covered, and there have been quite a few, I've never in person seen a free kick field goal until last night.
So it happened last night, and it's legal, obviously, in high school football. But you tell me still legal in college and the NFL. I knew this existed, but I thought it went away.
I've seen it in the NFL.
I thought it went away with color television.
I saw, and I'm trying to remember the kicker, and he did Jay Feely.
It's pretty recent.
I saw the Rams were playing the Cardinals. This is probably 12, 13 years ago.
Did a drop kick.
They did Jay Feely did a drop kick, absolutely.
Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I remember the rule, it's any play after a fair catch, you have an option to do a free kick. Am I right?
That is my understanding as well, yes.
So it could come into play like at the end of the half if you've got a team pinned down and they have to punt. If you'll call a fair catch, you can get a free kick at the end of the half.
Last night, Detroit, they sacked Dak Prescott. It looked like it was a safety, but they kicked from the 1, and I think they fielded the punt on like the 42. So
if you used a fair catch right there, you could roll your kicker out. It cannot be rushed. He can, when it's free kick, you can kick any form you want, right? You can punt it.
Yeah, Feely drop kicked it.
Yeah.
Forster, show the video. Don't take away the drama here. Tell us what we're watching.
So after forcing a Viger punt from their own end zone, Moody fair caught the ball at the 40, and then This is Ryan McPherson, not of those McPhersons.
You wish.
So it'd be a 50-yard free kick field goal.
So he could use a tee.
That's right. It's any form of kick.
It looked like a kickoff.
Yeah.
It was bizarre looking.
Give it to me again now that I've seen it once. So he caught the fair catch right before the half, up 15-0 for a state championship game. Rain falling, 47 degrees. So from the 40 on a tee, he's able to kick it, and it counts for 3 points.
Yep, 18-0 going into half.
Has that ever happened in a high school state championship game before?
It is the first time that has ever happened in an Alabama state championship game at any level.
Was that the death knell right there, going up 18-0 at half, or was it already over?
Well, I mean, Moody already had all the momentum, and then that was just another, vibe booster going into the locker room.
And I guess you don't do it more often because you think maybe if I get a good return here, we can take it to the house.
I get 7.
Yeah. But that's just crazy. So, a little history last time. For sure, I'm glad that your daughter got to cheer in it first. Secondly, that in all that rain and coldness that you got to see history with that and a victory for your local high school there. So congratulations.
Yeah, it was cool. First ever state championship.
Are you shooting this video or are you working?
No, I mean some of it's mine, but this was shot by the admin of the Moody.
Yeah, Forrester can't help himself, man. He turns back into
that's right
full-time videographer when he's
it's
any
who he
place.
is.
Always creating content.
Hey,
so that's Jake Gaines. Is that his name?
That is Jake Gaines.
That old boy's done a good job there, hasn't he, Scott?
Fourth year there. I don't think Moody had ever sniffed a state title before him. And
what's your NIL?
It's lower than your alma mater.
Thompson wins again.
Yeah, I was about to say, it ain't anywhere close to somebody in the chat room yesterday when we were talking about Pitt State's like, ask Dunaway if Thompson stole any recruits for Pitt State.
If they had high school eligibility left. They're working on getting some G League guys to come play basketball at Thompson right now.
And then there's me and my girl. With
that's
great
a great
photo.
picture.
Great photo.
Boy, she's grown 3 inches since just Haley's senior night.
She has. She's probably past Haley at this point.
Was Haley in town for this game?
No, Haley's finishing up her semester at college.
So it looked like good weather last night, though.
It was terrible.
Had to be miserable.
We hid in the concourse for the entire first half.
Yeah.
Did they have hot chocolate in the concession?
They had coffee. I don't know about.
I tell you what, high school football hot chocolate. I burn my tongue every single time. Like they can give it to you, and you can see the smoke, see the steam coming up, and I still take that first step.
Yeah. Because it gets really not good once it gets really
you want to
cold.
get it as quick as you can.
Our friends at Alabama Power bringing you part of the show here. Tell us about Alabama Power.
Yeah, Alabama Power wants to make sure you are not paying more than you think you should. They want you to understand your bill and make sure the rates that you are paying are exactly what you expect. So they got a lot of customer tools to help you do that. They've got Rate Advisor. It's like a matchmaker, but for your rate plan. Make sure you've got the right rate plan. The Bill Explainer. There can be some confusing things. This helps you understand your bill in just plain language. And Energy Assistant connects customers with savings programs and financial resources when they need it most. So check out all 3 tools right now at alabamapower.com.
Hey, and a great place to watch all of these conference championship games, Odie's Tavern. You can watch conference championship game tonight. Then you can transition right into live music. They do that every Thursday and Friday night. Great place to enjoy your incredible food. We talked about this weather outside. Perfect chilly weather. I don't know if he has any cinnamon rolls. I do know he's got a grilled cheese to put on the side there. Fantastic buckets of ice cold beer, that Bud Light, the Odie's Famous Cup cocktails. Get in and see Will Haver and that great staff. 2 locations, the original Crestline, newest location in Edgewood, Birmingham Institution. It's Odie's Tavern.
I'll BYOCR. I'll bring my own cinnamon roll if I need to. It'd be really good. Hey, we have so many great viewers and listeners, and we've told you that for 5 years now. And we're going to give away a pair of SEC tickets, Bob Baumhauer's tickets from Baumhauer's Wings. Great place to have lunch and dinner always. Big college football restaurant. And Bob's given us his tickets for the SEC championship game. One of you are going to win those 2 tickets coming up in about 37 minutes when we do the drawing. For those of you that have been Uber listeners to us on your podcast on Spotify or watching us on YouTube, the random drawing coming up in a moment. But I say all that to say some of you go way beyond just being fans of your teams. Like our friend Morgan from Louisville, who drives all the way down from Kentucky for every Alabama home basketball game and watches and listens to us all the time and consumes us greatly. He gets a new state license plate tag in Kentucky. And now he's in Kentucky.
Oh, don't tell me.
So the new license plate tag looks like this. RMFT 18.
Oh, wow.
Well, he's got to update it if they win this year.
By the way, our tags, we don't have like good options here.
Look how good that tag looks right there. Had something to do with Ohio Valley for Kentucky.
Oh, okay. I wondered what that was.
Something off-road.
Yeah.
I tried to dictate my color code. I went into the DMV the other day. I was like, hey, I want a black tag with just the white numerals. Can you do that? And they were like, I don't think we can.
Yeah. Sir,
I was like, do you have a Rams tag? No, sir.
But finishing this story, RMFT 18, you've got to explain to, at least in the state of Kentucky, you've got to explain what that stands for them to give it to you because they don't want it to be anything explicit.
The F's going to be tricky.
Yeah. So he goes, this is what I wrote. R for Ratcliffe, that's where I went to high school. M is my name, Morgan. F is my wife's name. T is for Freya, is his wife. T is for Tennessee, one of our favorite places to vacation. And 18 is the year we got married.
Okay, Mr. Morgan.
Boy, how gullible was the person he sold this story to?
Done. So that's his tag rolling around. RMFT 18 up in Kentucky.
One day this lady's going to be passing through. She's going to hit Innisfree and see those shirts and be like, I was bamboozled.
Well, he could be like the Royal Mounties freed my Uncle Tom. Like, I don't know. You know, I mean, you could just come up with something on the fly,
some
right?
Extra letters there.
Yeah. So that's
my uncle got left out.
Yeah. So
I'm limited.
That is really creative and RMFT to you, Morgan there. Before we get to Michelson, Culver's get you ready for a lunch today, and then we'll do the viewing menu.
Yeah, hey, listen, we got some more high school football tonight, and then college football, of course, over the weekend. Whether your team wins or loses, Culver's is a great place to go to enjoy just a celebration or maybe even drown your sorrows if your team has lost. You can do all of that right now at Culver's. Go enjoy those juicy butter burgers, those creamy, fresh frozen custards, the crispy crinkle-cut fries, the gooey golden cheese curds, something for everyone in your crew to enjoy. Win or lose, Culver's is the perfect place to celebrate these sweet memories you'll make all season long. So in Birmingham, stop by Culver's on Tattersall Park or Stadium Trace and make this game day a delicious one. Culver's, welcome to Delicious.
Hey, in this holiday season, how about the gift of sight from our friends at Michelson Laser Vision? I got the procedure done in 2003. Dr. Mark Michelson, the first to perform the LASIK procedure in the state of Alabama way back in 1995. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with that hassle-free consultation, zero to lose, to find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business, 205-969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
All right. First off, tonight in theaters, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 releases. This is based on the popular video game, and the first movie was surprisingly good.
Surprisingly good?
Yeah, it's set in an old pizza shop. Sort of
Is
like
is it a horror comedy?
Kind of. It leans more into like light horror, but there's some comedic moments in there. And this is set after the first film, and the main character will be looking to reconnect with her animatronic friends. And it stars Josh Hutcherson, Wayne Knight, and my personal favorite for horror movies, this will be the reunion of Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich, who are best known for the original Scream.
I think Wayne Knight, very good comedy actor.
I like
He's
Wayne
a funny
Knight.
guy. Yeah.
He was great in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I've never seen Jurassic Park. But I'll say, yeah, real quickly.
He really was. He
was
was the one that actually created all the chaos.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yep.
One Barbasol can.
That was it.
Paramount Plus has added The Italian Job to its catalog.
I like that movie.
It's a fun movie.
It is a fun movie. Now, the whole, the
Mini Cooper
scene, that's a little much.
It's a little silly.
Yeah,
you needed a small car to drive through those tunnels of Italy, right?
It's the only way you're going to do it. And boy, she did. But the movie as a whole, I liked.
Yep. Hulu has added the Santa Claus trilogy, if anybody's looking to get into the Christmas mood. I think the first two movies in that series are really good, really fun. Third one, not so much, but it's there too.
That's the Tim Allen Santa Claus?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and the third one, I can't remember who they got to play the part, but they added Jack Frost as a character, and it just wasn't good. And then finally, a little bit of a look ahead. People always ask me, how do you know about all these re-releases and remasters? So I'm giving you guys a heads up. Next weekend, 45th anniversary of The Shining. So that will be playing in IMAX theaters if you're looking to go to it.
Another movie I've never seen.
I saw it in the theater when it came out.
Yeah.
Where were you in 1980, Jeeves?
Not here.
What were you, 8 then?
I was 8, yeah.
Holy
crap. I got
The Shining at 8
years old.
I had a mom that would drag me to The Omen, The Shining, the Amityville Horror, haunted houses. That's why I'm so dicked up, man.
That is what Tyler and LT are watching this weekend, brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. Todd Fuhrman is next. We'll talk about the alleged leaked audio from Penn State booster Pat Kraft, and more about the SEC championship game, all coming up in hour number 2 of the next round, brought to you today in part by our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Your chance to stay on top of your health, guys, with the great folks at one of the best professionals groups you'll ever be a part of right here in Central Alabama. It's our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. They've got 16 locations. They've been doing this for over 70 years with the utmost compassion and unbelievable results at Urology Centers of Alabama. Guys, we all feel bulletproof in our 20s, and then you move to your 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s. You need to stay on top of your health. Early detection with things like prostate health can literally save your life. Prostate health, the kidney stones, vasectomy, and everything right there for you under one roof. UrologyCentersAlabama.com. UrologyCentersAlabama.com. 205-930-0920 to make your appointment with UCA today.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Yo, kinfolk, what's good, man? Let me holler at you for a minute. You know how life can be life. You're out there chasing that dollar. Every dollar is accounted for going somewhere. Then all of a sudden, bam! Out of nowhere, a car accident. All I had to do was hit up my people at Alexander Shinara Trial Attorney. You already know when that dude Alex pulls up the trial, he shuts down the litigation situation. Yo, go to Shinara.com. Hit him up at 659-777-7777.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation that legal services provided are billed at any other provider.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459 exit 31 Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. The beauty of the holiday is at the center of your table with the New York Butcher Shop. Their selection of USDA certified Angus prime rib roast, beef tenderloins, and fillets, as well as premium pork and lamb cuts, are the finest selections available in the market and are hand-cut just the way you want. With side dishes handmade by the professional chefs, your holiday meal is complete. Visit one of their 2 locations today in Cahaba Heights or off Highway 119 in Greystone. Place your order today. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well done service.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
This hour of the show being brought to you in part by our wonderful friends at Walk-On Sports Bistro, Trussville, Greystone, and Stadium Trace. Always game on at Walk-Ons, where every day is game day, whether it's a post-win celebration, drinks after work, or taking the family for made-from-scratch favorites at Walk-Ons. Anything from the unbelievable mozzarella logs to the Hall of Fame level burgers, the wall-to-wall TVs, the craft beer, the cocktails, and all the bold flavors. Stop by Walk-On Sports Bistro, Trussville, Greystone, and Stadium Trace, or order online with the Walk-Ons app.
All right, Todd Fuhrman, CBS Sports, former odds maker at Caesars Palace, always kind with his time. In fact, Todd, more than anybody, bounces around on our schedules on these Friday shows when we have been on the road this year. We are in studio today, so it's his normal time. And I hope you know how much we appreciate you doing that all season, Todd. You've been a trooper for us.
I'll always have some flexibility for you, Brownie. If it was Dunaway sitting in the host chair, I'd feel a lot differently on a regular basis.
He always tells me no when you guys are out.
Yeah, that's right. All right, it is championship weekend. I would like to start tonight with the school I attended for 6 years and almost got a degree. Jacksonville State, we were just talking about this earlier, Fuhrman. They never lose at home in conference play. Kennesaw rarely wins on the road in conference play. This game is in Jacksonville, yet Kennesaw favored 2.5. What are we missing?
You know, Brownie, a lot of people go to college for 6 years. They tend to get doctorates, let alone an undergraduate degree.
I'm aware.
Kudos to you on that and your long-lasting legacy that you'll leave with Gamecock Nation. But this is one of 6 conference championship games of the 9 that's a rematch from a matchup that we saw earlier in the season. And this one's fascinating for a variety of reasons, because when you look at Kennesaw and Jack State, how that first game went, I know what the final score says, but Kennesaw State constantly shot themselves in the foot, and I'm not sure that that's going to be the scenario again in this particular spot. Now, keep in mind that the best player in this game is going to be wearing a Gamecocks jersey, and that, of course, would be Cam Cook, the TCU transfer, who has been outstanding, 35-26 the last time around. But you dig into that scoreline, I mean, Kennesaw racked up nearly 600 yards, just couldn't avoid that turnover bug as they finished -4 in the interception department. I wanted 3 to back the Gamecocks in this game. I don't think the market is going to get there. I do respect some of the folks that I work with that were more than happy to lay that short price with Kennesaw at -1, -1.5. But if you're going to give me a team that can run the football more effectively, that's always going to be the way that I'm going to gravitate. Revenge kind of gets thrown out the window a little bit for me in this spot. But I do have a little bit of concern, with Kennesaw, and I was surprised to see them take as much money as they did. I mean, this is a group that has really been on the go. You look at their schedule. This will be their 5th road game in the last 6 weeks, or I should say 4th in the last 5 weeks, having to travel all over Conference USA. So I lean Jack State, just haven't gotten there yet unless I get a 3.
Major implications in the American tonight with North Texas taking on Tulane. We were talking about Tulane earlier. They're just statistically middle of the road. I don't know how they're doing it. John Summerall, who's now taking the Florida job, has said it about his team. We're just average. But they continue to find ways to win. But you look at North Texas, they've covered 6 straight, Fuhrman, and in those 6 games, they're averaging 585 yards per game. This offense has been incredible, but for whatever reason, I like the dog plus 2.5.
Yeah, I'm with you on the dog. Grabbed some 3 earlier in the week. Have no problems taking the 2.5. That's widely available on game day today. Tulane is a team that's going to be able to run the football effectively here. And while that doesn't necessarily give you a margin for error, given how explosive and dynamic North Texas has been offensively, I think they can win both lines of scrimmage here. Going down to New Orleans has been a very difficult task for American Athletic Conference opponents, and I do think it's going to be an emotionally charged atmosphere, essentially with two head coaches that are moving on for greener pastures and the P4 level. You dig into North Texas, though, and while they put up some of these crooked numbers, the only team that I would say over the last 5-6 weeks they've played with a defensive pulse would be Navy, and that was their lowest offensive output with just 31 points. It is important to keep in mind that they exceeded oddsmakers' expectations, though, in that contest as a 7-point favorite. You use a couple of the most familiar opponents against Temple. Yes, 52-25 was the scoreline for North Texas, but they got gashed by the Owls offensively. Meanwhile, Tulane was able to clamp down on Temple in a 37-13 win. While it's not as sexy to make a case for the team with the better defense, you're going to give me the better ground game essentially playing at home. I'm going to take the home underdog here. I like Tulane right there with you, LT.
I mean, Notre Dame hasn't played anybody with a defensive pulse since losing to Texas A&M. We don't hold that against them. Come on, Fuhrman.
Notre Dame is still my number 2 power-rated team in the country. And let me tell you, if they took on any SEC team, even on the road to the first round of the playoff, Notre Dame will open as a favorite, Dunaway. So you'll get plenty of opportunity to try and fade the Irish if you don't believe in what you've seen from C.J. Carr, Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price, and a defense that has done nothing but trended up over the last 10 weeks.
They have played nobody, Fuhrman, since the 2 games they played, and they lost both of those. How you guys in Vegas are usually smarter than this. How do you have Notre Dame as the second best team behind, I assume, Ohio State?
Yep, exactly where they are right now. It's from an overall power profile. And look, you go out there and can only take care of the opponents that are in front of you. And I know a lot of people want to give the SEC a free pass and a number of these teams, but there are a lot of flaws in these SEC rosters compared to what we've seen in the past. There's no dominant side from an offensive or defensive perspective, and I'll make the case that Notre Dame is as complete a football team right now as any in the country. Yes, they haven't played a murderer's row by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not going to sugarcoat that over the last 10 weeks, but their performance against the best opponent they did face in USC, rather dominant, albeit in inclement weather, and I think that's a team that if they get left out of the college football playoff, it's not like the NCAA tournament bubble where we're talking about teams 63 through 70 that are lucky to get to the second weekend. I think it would be a huge injustice that one of the teams that I would have penciled in as a legitimate favorite to win the whole thing could be on the outside looking in.
My sheet says here that Greg Sankey would like me to say right here, why the SEC teams, some look flawed, is because they play teams good enough to show their flaws. You've seen Notre Dame's warts when they played Miami and Texas A&M. Right?
They lost by one possession.
I know, but how many points? 43 points they gave up to Texas A&M.
Okay, let's slow this down. So the A&M holding penalty that they had that got them into the end zone on the final play along with a botched extra point.
Oh, my God. We're going back to officiating?
Look, that makes a big difference, and that was a Notre Dame team that was extremely young the first couple of games of the season. Meanwhile, you look at these SEC opponents, where are the big non-conference wins for the SEC? If we were to go through these resumes to show that maybe they're getting the benefit of the doubt from beating up on each other, A&M deserves a world of credit. They went on the road to South Bend and won that football game. But you go through the list of resumes, other than Oklahoma's win against Michigan, which doesn't look that great as the season has progressed, and the Sooners have struggled, there's a lot of meat on the bone for the SEC, in my opinion, that's getting a free pass this season, where I don't see it as the best league in terms of its top teams. I do think it's the deepest league in the country from top to bottom, but you're not going to sit here and be able to make a case for me that Alabama, Georgia, and even Ole Miss or A&M are better than the top 3 in the Big Ten in Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon.
But you are counting Texas A&M as a plus for the SEC, not just a plus for Notre Dame, right? I mean, that's...
No, I'll count them as a plus. I'll count them as a plus. But I think, again, it's another SEC team that when I look at what I've seen from them down the stretch, that they are still flawed in terms of their ability to stop the run. And while everybody wants to clamor for a Texas team that got a big win and they should receive legitimate consideration, let's not gloss over the fact that that's a Texas side that needed a 17-point comeback on the road in Starkville to beat Mississippi State and limped to the finish line against a Kentucky team that I think we can all agree on was the worst team in the SEC this year, maybe not named Florida.
But they laid those flaws. They laid those flaws right at the feet of touchdown Jesus with that W, by the way.
Todd Fuhrman.
We'll see what committee will get the final say in all of this, but quite frankly, I'd much prefer a scenario where the ACC came to their senses and used the tiebreaker from a conference standpoint like the AAC to get Miami into the conference championship game to take on Virginia. It gave Notre Dame an opportunity to go out there and perform as well, and let the chips all fall where they may. One thing, though, that I think would surprise some people, guys, and I'll tell you, if Vanderbilt were to play Oklahoma this weekend on neutral field, I'd make Vanderbilt a favorite.
Oh.
So, Fuhrman, I got to ask you this because I threw this out last night. We talked about it a little bit on the show a couple of days ago, but I really believe, and, you know, I'm influenced by numbers out there, and you guys know exactly what you're doing almost all of the time. If BYU wins, both Miami and Notre Dame are going to be out. I think it's easy on the committee at that point. But if BYU loses, Alabama's going to be in unless they get completely run off the field tomorrow. I think it comes down, obviously, at that point to Miami and Notre Dame. And because of the way the committee has moved these teams, they're going to be sandwiched together. And at that point, I really think the committee, common sense, is going to prevail. And I think Miami's going to get in. I know they're plus 410 right now. No, at least that's what I got them at. But I think it's a hell of a play, really, when I start to think about this, common sense reigning, and I can't believe I'm relying on common sense. But what is your thought on Miami getting into the postseason if BYU loses?
I can't argue with that logic at all. And I think being able to grab Miami at that advantageous price makes a world of sense. I took it one step further when I saw those rankings on Tuesday and took a flyer on Miami at 200-1 to win the national title, knowing that this is a team that I power rate inside the top 6. And while they haven't been able to run the football, I think they're a very difficult out given the NFL caliber guys that they have on their defensive line. The biggest problem for Miami is that Mario Cristobal is going to have his fingerprints all over a game plan in a big game, and we know how that is typically worked out. On the flip side of that, though, I think the other scenario that is fascinating to me, if Alabama loses to Georgia, I don't think they deserve to be out of the playoff unless they lost the game by 5 touchdowns, and you begin to worry about some of the injuries that are mounting for Alabama. But I can see a scenario where Georgia beats Alabama in the SEC title game, and the committee slides Alabama back to the 10 spot, sets up a game for Alabama against Texas A&M in a 7-10, moves Notre Dame up to the 9, and goes, you know what? We decided that there were 2 teams for 3 spots. Here's how we had them rated, with Notre Dame the 9, Alabama the 10, and Miami the 11 if BYU stubs its toe, and suddenly the Irish are in. On the other side of things, too, if BYU loses a close game to Texas Tech, you can still create some of that separation that's there, leave BYU on the outside, but keep Notre Dame in the playoff field over a Miami team that, in my opinion, has 2 worse losses against SMU and Louisville, despite the head-to-head over the Irish.
So, Fuhrman, let's talk about the SEC championship game. Alabama playing Georgia. It opened at Georgia 1.5, jumped up to 2.5 quickly. It has stayed there. A lot of injuries, significant injuries in this game. What do you see in this one?
Yeah, Drew Bobo, the big one for Georgia along that offensive line. We saw them really struggle to run the football against Georgia Tech, and hell, Boston College was able to run the football against Georgia Tech in conference play a few weeks ago. So not exactly a ringing endorsement. We know that Georgia as a program has had an Alabama problem. I think at last check, they're just 1-10 against the Crimson Tide the last 11 meetings. Fortunately for Georgia fans, that one win did come in a national championship setting. But Alabama doesn't come in without their own injuries. I know Jam Miller listed as questionable. You guys probably have better intel, but I'm working under the assumption that even if he goes, it's a very limited workload. I don't expect Josh Cuevas to be out there in any meaningful capacity. And the one thing that continues to trouble me when I watch this Alabama team week in, week out, is that they pan to Ty Simpson on the sidelines, and he's always having work done on his back. And while normally you can gloss over that and pretend it doesn't matter, the problem is his performance has fallen off as well. We've seen his turnover-worthy throws uptick over the last couple weeks, coinciding with those visits to the trainer on the sideline. And Ryan Williams has been an afterthought. I know they're using him a lot more from the slot this year than what we've seen in the past, but to not have a single target last week in the Iron Bowl, rather problematic for me. So I bet Georgia took a small position on the money line when this thing opened, but it's a number that's widely available now at minus $1.20 to minus $1.25. Don't love it. You don't find big edges this time of year. And I know it's a massive public side, which LT can't stand. But I get the feeling that Georgia is going to be out for revenge on a faster track, knowing that they laid an egg in this same building against one of their other rivals last weekend to finish up the regular season.
Ohio State's 1, Indiana's 2. Winner of this game should stay the 1 seed. Loser should stay the 2 seed, in my opinion. Who wins this game, and how are you looking at it in Vegas?
So it's rare for me to say this, and this may be a little bit more narrative-driven than what I should be leaning on for a game of this magnitude, but I think this game means a hell of a lot more for Indiana than it does for Ohio State. And I can make the case as well that this is a letdown for Ohio State coming into a conference championship game, knowing all the energy and emotion they expended a week ago and finally getting that Michigan monkey off their back. You saw what Ryan Day's post-game presser looked like. I mean, he was basically choking back tears for how much that spot meant. On the flip side of things for Indiana, look, if you'd have told this program that they could play for a conference championship before they brought in Kirk Cignetti, you probably would have been drug tested on the spot. But here we are, and not only are they playing for a conference title in their backyard and what I think will be a pro-Indiana crowd, so I've made an adjustment for home field, they have a chance to win the Heisman Trophy if Fernando Mendoza goes out there and performs what I'll call an acceptable level that's got to be better than how he looked against Purdue. I took some 4.5 with Indiana. I don't expect this number to move a ton, but I really believe the Hoosiers are going to treat this as a kitchen sink game, and this means more to them than any game that they'll play all season long, where I think Ohio State has already begun to start to shift their focus towards winning another national championship, despite not being a conference champion over the last 5 seasons.
All right, he is Todd Fuhrman. You follow him on social media at Todd Fuhrman. CBS Sports is where you see him, and he is the former odds maker at Caesars Palace. Tremendous work each week for us, and we always appreciate it. Fuhrman, enjoy championship weekend, my friend.
Always a pleasure. And Dunaway, despite our barbs back and forth, I love you, my friend, and it'll be fun to see how the committee seeds all 12 teams that'll vie for a national championship. You can buy a JMU Dukes hat if it fits you the right way.
Yeah. Hey, I will just tell you, there's only 2 things I fight all the time: is giving Notre Dame anything and communism. So,
world hunger. Those 3.
Back that, boys. Enjoy the games this weekend. Should be a hell of a fun close out to the regular season.
All right, Fuhrman. We'll see you. Todd Fuhrman with us on the Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys Hotline.
I do agree Notre Dame is really, really good. I think they're one of the 5 best teams in college football, but they're not getting in.
Yeah, I do think they're really good, too. It's just a shame that their schedule.
Yeah. Do you think they get in? I don't think they get in.
I'm starting to think less and less they do.
Yeah. Let's talk more about it. Let's do these 2 spots. I want to get more into it because he did hit one scenario there that is in play. Because of the Notre Dame brand and how they looked with the eye test. The folks at the Pan Store, last chance right here. If you're going to Mercedes-Benz, swing by one of the brick-and-mortar Pan Store stores and get new Alabama gear to go flaunt it in front of the Georgia fans this weekend. For the guys, you can get the Alabama hats and the quarter zips, famous name brands like Horned Legend, Cutter and Buck, Antigua, Gentile, the sweatshirts, the hoodies, and all that. They got the Auburn stuff, too, for the holidays coming up. The great wear for the ladies as well, including platforms and fall boots and white sneakers and rompers and dresses. Free alterations, free gift wrapping. The stores are in Tuscaloosa, Hoover, Birmingham, Auburn, Huntsville, all over, or pantstore.com. Pantstore.com for the shipping. Free alterations, free gift wrapping, and great for the holidays. Our friends at the Pan Store, pantstore.com, and our friends at Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks, great place to check out all this conference championship action. Had some friends at Twin Peaks yesterday talking about, how much fun it is just hanging out at the bar and drinking those 29-degree signature drafts served by those Twin Peaks girls running around in 3D, lunch, dinner, great games. You can get it all at one of those convenient locations of Twin Peaks.
Yeah, I do think the scenario he hit there, I saw Heather Dinage actually between airports. In an airport saying, this just dawned on me in the flight, that one thing we didn't talk about on the show is what Fuhrman touched on there. BYU losing tomorrow morning and the committee not changing the rankings at all. That Notre Dame Alabama loses. Alabama stays 9. Notre Dame stays 10. BYU stays 11. Miami stays 12. And that separation is still there. And they just don't change the ratings at all. That BYU losing to Texas Tech worthy enough for them to hold on to that 11 slot. Alabama losing stays at 9. Notre Dame not playing stays at 10. And Miami not playing stays at 12. She goes, we didn't touch on that on the selection show. And I don't know if she was hinting that she'd made phone calls or anything, but Fuhrman just touched on it too, that's a scenario we don't talk about. We expect some movement.
Yeah, but even if that happens, you've still got to put the Group 5 and the ACC in.
You do. But 9 and 10.
Yeah,
and
Notre Dame is in.
BYU and Miami's out.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah, they.
So you're just saying you would still have space between Notre Dame and Miami. Is why you're staying there. They wouldn't be married up all of a sudden.
That we have compared them and the ratings. We compared those 4 teams, and Alabama's 9, Notre Dame is 10. BYU's 11 and Miami's 12.
The only thing that's going to get picked apart is controversy, right? So whether it's Alabama being left out or Notre Dame or Miami being left out. So that's going to be, if I'm the committee, a lot of this stuff just falls into place and takes care of itself. But if BYU does lose, if BYU wins, it's so easy.
Yeah.
I mean, BYU's in, both Notre Dame and Miami are out, and everything is clean for the committee. But if BYU loses, then I think common sense has got to prevail.
I don't know if they address this also, but the other thing that could happen is you just flip Alabama and Notre Dame right back. Alabama lost, we're going to drop them a spot. It was an SEC championship game loss, so not a huge penalty there. They're going to be our 10 seed.
Yeah,
Notre Dame moves back to 9.
Fuhrman touched on that one. He was like, that sets up the 10-7 Alabama Texas A&M game in College Station.
Do you think Bama fans would rather have 10-7 College Station? I think I know the answer to this. Or 9-8 in Norman.
9-8 Norman.
I would too. Alabama's a better team than Oklahoma. Now, you got an Oklahoma problem for some reason.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma believes
felt like earlier this week you didn't say that.
Can I?
I'm just saying the chat room was on you for that.
No, the chat room was on me for suggesting that Alabama that a team made plays to beat Alabama. No, it was Alabama gave that game away. I'm like, okay, yeah, Oklahoma didn't show up.
I'm sorry, I was just.
It seems like
it was so much fun in the
Oklahoma,
chat room the other day.
You almost believe watching them at times. They're like, damn, when is this luck going to run out? As far as there's nothing fluky about that defense. It is arguably, right there with Ohio State, the best defense in college football. But I'm just talking about how they manufacture points offensively.
Oh, they were beat the other night by LSU, and they hit that long play.
Dead to rights.
Yeah, they just uncovered one guy, and off he went. That's how you win games.
We haven't spent a ton of time on that because of the Iron Bowl and whatnot and the playoff rankings. That was going to be a brutal loss for Brent Venables.
It was.
He was going to – I'm not going to say he was going to get fired on the spot. Yeah. But, boy, that fan base had turned back around for Venables. You lose that one.
I think it happened at halftime of the Iron Bowl is when that play happened, or was it right before the kick of the game?
No, I think it was – no, that was a 2:30 kick.
Yeah, it was right before the kick of the game. People were like, hey, you going out? You heading out now? And I was like, this right here impacts Alabama maybe more than this game on the field right now. Yeah, right here, this changes the dynamic. If Alabama wins, if this happens right here and Alabama wins out here, they're locked in the playoffs.
You can almost, like when they were showing Venables, you were watching it, I'm sure, and obviously you were. When they were showing Venables, you could almost see the relief, chiseled on his face when they scored that touchdown.
And there was still time for LSU to drive, but he knew at that point, my defense can lock that down.
Not with LSU's offense.
Yeah, all right. One more thing to get to in this segment. Right after Brownie tells us about our friends at Central State Bank.
Yeah, that is the bank that is big enough to meet every single need you have financially, but they're also small enough to know you because they are a community bank rooted in community and have been for more than 100 years. They want to take care of your students, too. How about this? I've got a kid that's trying to make A's and B's in school. Well, smart grades deserve smart rewards. Central State Bank helps young achievers save for the future one A at a time. Open a Young Savers account for your child today. When the report cards roll in, bring it over, send it over. Your student could earn up to $10 for A's and B's. It is banking that celebrates hard work, but it also builds lifelong habits and great fundamentals for them on the financial side. That's just one of the many things they do at Central State Bank. Family-owned, community-focused, Central State Bank, member FDIC.
All right, so big playoff implication games this weekend in the NFL. Colts and Jaguars, Steelers and Ravens, Bears and Packers. We talked with Dan Orlovsky about all that yesterday, those big games. You can get that conversation, Spotify and Apple, audio there, video there as well at Spotify. Also on our YouTube channel, Dan Orlovsky there for you every week talking NFL. Cowboys-Lions last night, Lance. Lions win. Cowboys playoff hopes now hanging on life support. Your takeaway from that, from the Cowboys perspective first, are they done?
I think they're done. Look, the probability now is 7%. They're sitting at 6-1. Your last team in right now is a 9-4 San Francisco team. Cowboys are done. The good news is you've got Brian Schottenheimer. A lot of people felt like it was just another one of these puppets. He seems like a guy that has really won over the team. You have added these pieces once you got rid of Micah Parsons that actually overall this defense might be better. And you look at the addition of Pickens now, whether or not you can sign him next year, we'll see.
Well, what about last night with Pickens?
Yeah, look, Pickens is just next level good.
He is, but Sherman, did you see post-game? Richard Sherman was destroying Pickens. He's like, they needed you, and you were taking plays off. And there was some pretty bad film, like when you went back and watched it as Richard Sherman was talking about this last night. There was some pretty bad film on him. He was like, that team had to have him last night, and he took several plays off. And Sherman was basically saying, if you want to be paid like a primo receiver in this league, you can't be taking plays off. I mean, he got on him pretty good.
I mean, last night was the CD Lamb and Flournoy, who actually came out of really nowhere.
Yeah.
But Pickens has been so freaking good in this contract year. And he was actually open a couple of times where Dak missed him. But, the story of the game was Jahmyr Gibbs with the 3 touchdowns. Amon-Ra St. Brown, we thought that, it would be a big Gibbs night, but St. Brown did play, and St. Brown was really good with the 6 grabs and the 92 yards. That was just a massive game in front of their home crowd that really went back and forth, and they were able to stretch it out at the end. But that's a huge win for Detroit. I still don't know if they get in. I think their probability is like 55% to get in now.
First team out right now.
Yeah, but Dallas, I think they're done now.
Yeah.
But I think they can build on this for next year.
Just because it seems like people that win in business or in life or whatever win everything they touch, right? Stan Kroenke, you're owner of the Rams, also owner of the Nuggets and Avs, who are pretty good right now. And his Premier League team, Arsenal, I know you may not pay attention, is on top of the tables over in the Premier League. They're 10 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses right now, on top of the table by 5 points ahead of Man City. And I saw a big story about Kroenke's world right now. Everything that the Kroenke Sports Enterprise is at the top of its game right now.
He is one of the most savvy businessmen. The community of St. Louis, that entire city hates him because of what he did with the Rams when he bought them. Basically, this roster was absolutely awful, did everything he could to crush attendance, and then got them out. And now, if you talk to people, a lot of people believe it might be the best organization in the NFL.
I mean, I understand St. Louis fans being upset, but step back and look at that for a moment. He bought an NFL team, moved them from a middling market.
Yeah, but in the middle, you missed what he said. He did everything to crash the attendance.
He had to. Yeah, he had to so he could move
But
them.
I mean, it was a ruthless move for that community, but what it did overall for the brand and the organization.
Who doesn't want to have a team in L.A.? It's the second biggest media market, and they didn't have an NFL team.
Yep.
I mean, come on. I mean, who's going to blame Stan Kroenke for doing that other than St. Louis fans? And I get it.
Yeah. So, but just pointing out that Nuggets and Avs are pretty good right now, and the Arsenal's at top of the table, also owned by the same guy. When we come back, we will give away SEC championship game tickets thanks to our friends at Baumhauer's. To one of you lucky guys who sort of threaded the needle of what we asked you to do on social media with the Spotify Wrap and the YouTube year-ender. We'll give you a pair of tickets, and we'll do that random drawing when we come back. We'll also do our 4 downs when we come back, and we'll talk more about what Kalen DeBoer and Kirby Smart said yesterday about the SEC championship game that's coming up. It's all right here on the next round, being brought to you by our friends at Bojangles. Brownie.
You can make a bow time at Bojangles, whether it is lunch coming up in just a few moments, dinner tonight, breakfast tomorrow morning. You can make a bow time. Also, those holiday parties. You're looking for a unique catering idea for the holiday parties? Let Bojangles do it for you. From the fried chicken to the crispy chicken tenders, those Bo Bites, the hand-breaded bites that you can dip in the peach honey pepper sauce, which is terrific, by the way. It is a great idea for your holiday parties or your football watch parties, whatever the case might be. You can always make it bow time with Bojangles. And go enjoy some of those great chicken tenders, the fried chicken, and the Bo Bites with our friends at Bojangles, where it's always bow time.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
Yo, kinfolk, what's good, man? Let me holler at you for a minute. You know how life can be life. You're out there chasing that dollar. Every dollar is accounted for going somewhere. Then all of a sudden, bam! Out of nowhere, a car accident. All I had to do was hit up my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorney. You already know when that dude Alex pulls up the trial, he shuts down the litigation situation. Yo, go to Shannara.com. Hit him up at 659-777-7777.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation that legal services provided are better than any other provider.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger, made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place, nextround.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt, you can look your best by shopping with us at nextround.store. Take the Next Round anywhere with nextround.store. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and Bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a Bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and Bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
All right, before we hit the spotlight, Tyler, I need to get LT to tell us about the great folks at Baumhauer's and Bob Baumhauer and what he has given us for tomorrow's action, because we're about to make somebody's weekend.
You go back to the mid-'80s. Did you guys know that Bob Baumhauer, for a minute, was the highest paid defensive player in the NFL?
Wow. What great franchise did he play for?
He played for your Miami Dolphins and actually helped get them to a Super Bowl,
Indeed.
their last Super Bowl appearance.
Indeed.
Yeah, and, you know, if you talk to him about it, he was like, man, with Marino, we knew we were going to be back a lot.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Oddly.
But not only one of the great Miami Dolphins of all time, one of the great Alabama players, and still does a ton of business around this state, loves this state, but had a great conversation catching up with Bob the other day, and him and Spencer, his son, who is very involved in the business now, were like, hey, we want to give you our tickets and let you give it away to your great, loyal listeners out there. And Brooks and Tyler came up with a great way to actually put this thing together.
All right, so we're going to do a drawing, Brooks. You've got all the names on a number, and I'm going to hit a random number here, and whatever number pops up is the winner. So here we go. I assume it's going to stop.
252.
252. I was wondering if I didn't have a stop there.
Yeah.
252. Brooks, who coincides with number 252 back there?
Let's see. That will be Mr. Michael Howell, who submitted on Facebook. Let's do some.
Michael Howell, good job.
Yeah, good job, Michael Howell.
Do some slight stalking.
No, we
from
don't.
Athens.
Okay,
Athens. Okay.
Alabama or Georgia?
Athens, Alabama.
Okay, I'm about to say we're not.
Easy now.
We don't want to give these chickens away to somebody's going to bark. Athens, Alabama. So,
Mr. Michael Howell.
People will be in contact with Michael Howell, so don't pretend to be Michael Howell and try to contact us because we'll see right through that. Thanks to our friend Bob Baumhauer and our friends at Baumhauer's.
Yeah, get into one of those great locations. There's one right there on Vestavia on Highway 31, locations all over South Alabama, down in Baldwin County. So go see the mayor of South Beach, Bob Baumhauer, and special thanks to him for providing those tickets.
Let's do the spotlight, man. Brought to you by our friend Alexander Shannara.
The College Football Spotlight.
Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. They want you to know you're well aware that Alexander Shannara deals in personal injury claims. Like, that's not a huge surprise to you, right? Well, it might be a surprise that they go a lot deeper than that. The firm not only handles those personal injury claims, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. So when you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the guy who's recovered more than $2 billion operating right here in Birmingham. That is Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shannara.com. Shannara.com.
Okay, our focus is on the Heisman Trophy, which the voting has to be done by Monday, correct, LT?
Yep.
Okay, by Monday. So some people may consider the championship games coming on this weekend as a deciding factor for their vote. Historically, by the way, USC has the most with 8 Heisman Trophy winners. Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Oklahoma have 7. Ohio State has someone in the mix in Julian Sand this weekend. Fernando Mendoza is in the mix this weekend. They play each other. A lot of people believe the winner may come out of that game. And then there's Diego Pavia of Vanderbilt, who by all accounts is going to be in New York as a Heisman finalist. Did you know that Diego Pavia has an 87.8 QBR and is 4th in the FBS when it comes to QBR rankings? Diego Pavia has put up good numbers. And back to Cardale Jones when he was discussing this earlier on Sirius XM, the former great Ohio State quarterback for that season. He said, I'm going to vote Diego Pavia, and here's why. He goes, if you put Julian Sand or Fernando Mendoza on that Vanderbilt team, I'm not sure Vanderbilt is what they are. But if you put Diego Pavia on Ohio State and Indiana's team, I'm pretty sure that they're still winning a lot of football games and they don't change that much. He thinks Diego Pavia, what he's able to do on the fly, individual creativity, on the spur of the moment, his toughness and all of that has made Vanderbilt a fringe playoff team. And he's not sure Julian Sand and Fernando Mendoza with their skill sets could have done that for Vanderbilt. That's why he's given Diego, in his mind, the edge.
I've got no problem. I mean, you can make the argument, an easy argument, is he the most valuable player for his team? And I think an easy answer is yes when you look at Vanderbilt sitting at 10-2. I said last week, if they beat Tennessee, I think he has solidified himself as a finalist. I think they've got to get into the college football playoff for him to win it. I could be wrong. Now, here is a benefit. Now, you can look at it benefit or detriment. The fact that he's not playing this weekend and both Sayan and Mendoza are. But the problem is Mendoza and Sayan are both going against great defenses. So this could be a situation where, you know, one of these teams wins 24-21 and both quarterbacks throw a pick or two and don't play great. I mean, Mendoza is going against the number 1 pass defense in college football. Do you know how many passing yards per game Ohio State gives up?
174.
Sounds about right.
121.
That ain't good.
Yeah, so I'm just saying,
ain't a lot.
like, if Mendoza or Sayan goes out and they slay it against any one of these defenses, they've got it. But if they don't, I think there's a good chance Diego Pavia wins this thing. I hope they invite 4 because I hope Love gets an invite. I think they might even go 5, and Jacob Rodriguez might get an invite, too.
I wanted to ask
Tech
you,
linebacker.
since you brought up Jeremiah Love, the Notre Dame running back. So those that don't know how the Heisman voting is doing, anyone that's ever, or the Heisman voting is done, anyone that's ever had a Heisman vote, or, geez, Ryan, anybody that's ever won the Heisman has a vote. There are some national people, the Reese Davises of the world, people like that have a vote. And then there is a pretty balanced regionalized vote. They try to balance out the regions to prevent one region from having an overwhelming number of Heisman Trophy winners. So,
of which Lance is one.
Yeah, Lance is a voter, right. So Lance would represent the southern region. You know, they try to get a balance there, and then a balance in the West, the Midwest, the Northeast.
Lance is not the only one in the South, because I know you don't look at Lance and think, oh, Southern guy, but
LA guy.
No, but you know, and I'm just one small factor. There's
900 some odd votes.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I think it's like 970 some odd votes. That's when I voted before Lance did. When I voted, that was about the number. I think it was 970.
But don't you think it's better the way they're limiting basically 72 hours? Like the voting can't start until this weekend. Because there were a lot of people that were like, hey, I'm going to go on and vote Mendoza 3 weeks ago. And I just don't think it's fair. I think it's the entire season. Now, on the other side, there probably are voters that haven't watched any of these guys that will tune in this weekend to that one game.
But I was setting all this up to say that there is regionalized voting, but 3 of those guys are coming out of the same region. The Big Ten footprint, Mendoza, Sayin, and Jeremiah Love are all in that same footprint where those voters watch a lot more of them than they do some of the other guys. That kind of hurts them, right?
It used to.
Well, it could. It could also. Yeah,
don't know how it
you're
still
talking about
does it.
you're chopping up votes between those three.
Chopping up votes in that region. The Southern people have been more exposed to Diego Pavia, and I think Southern voters are more likely to say,
more
this
difficult.
guy is doing this at Vanderbilt.
And
what in
he's
the
doing
world?
week in, week out against
That's
the
right.
SEC. When you look at some of Ohio State and Indiana's opponents, I mean, you should be able to put up good numbers. But at the same time, I mean, Mendoza's got 3 games where he completed 90% of his passes with 4 or more touchdowns. I mean, both of those guys have been outstanding. The problem for Sayin, I don't know if you guys agree with this, it just seems like plug and play, whoever you put. And look, I think Sayin would be starting over Ty Simpson, but it looks like any quarterback you put in that system is going to be highly successful.
I had somebody the other day text me and say, you mean to tell me, this was during Ohio State, Michigan, before the Iron Bowl, you mean to tell me that Ty Simpson, Julian Sayin, and Jalen Milroe were on the same roster and Jalen Milroe was the starter?
Yeah.
I was like, they were. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. But Sayin was only there.
I don't know. I don't know.
He got there early.
Yeah. He left before
he
Milroe
just showed
started,
up
right?
for the bowl practices,
Yeah.
and then Saban retired, and he left.
Yeah.
He never was there for a season.
Yeah.
There was never Julian Sayin in an Alabama uniform on the sidelines.
Milroe, I said that incorrectly. Milroe had already started a year before he was there. It wasn't like he. But, I mean, I did laugh at that. Like, I mean, all 3 of those guys were on the same Alabama roster.
Yeah. All right. One more thing before we get to the top of the hour. Actually, before we get to 4 downs here. Brought to you by our friends at Fractional Financing. Tell us about Fractional Financing, LT. It's that time of the year where you try to get some end of the year things on the books, and we're going to be tax season before you know it. Everything with our friends at Fractional Finances.
Yeah, Rod Smallwood is grouped there. If you are a small to mid-sized business in Alabama, Georgia, East Tennessee, or the Carolinas looking for that CFO service designed for businesses that need expertise, call Rod Smallwood at Fractional Financial. Rod and his team provide expertise in cash management, budgets and projections, accounting, payroll, annual reports. Fractional Financial does it all. Not your typical contract CFO service. Fractional Financial works with clients face-to-face so they can make those informed, data-driven decisions to get their business to the next level. Contact them today, 704-614-2083. That's 704-614-2083. You can always go online, fractionalfinancial.net.
And as LT gets 4 downs ready, I will tell you today in about 15 minutes, we'll do the World Cup draw here in the U.S. for next year's World Cup, 11 a.m. on Main Fox. So we'll get to see who Team USA plays. And the cool thing about that, the World Cup draw, is that you end up, you could end up basically with the 4 best teams in the same pool.
Is it blind draw?
They're in 4 different buckets.
So like 1 seed, 2 seed, 3 seed, 4 seed?
I don't think that's the way it's done. It's I don't know how it's done, but there are 4 buckets they're pulling out of. I just know there's always a group of death.
Correct. And the U.S. seems to get in that, it appears.
Yeah. There may be some protection for us in that.
Since we're the host.
But so is Mexico and Canada. I don't know too much, so don't ask me too much.
Well,
11 o'clock on Main Fox.
Tyler knows a lot about soccer.
So I've got the official, draw procedure here. You sort 48 teams into 4 pots based on their FIFA ranking.
There you go.
The host nations are pre-assigned to specific groups. The draw then proceeds pot by pot, randomly assigning 1 team from each pot to each of the 12 groups while respecting confederation limits, no more than 2 UEFA teams per group. Finally, the top-ranked teams are placed on separate pathways to ensure the highest-ranked nations cannot meet until the semifinals, provided they win their groups.
I kind of like the way they do that, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's really fun.
Set up so the best teams can survive.
Yeah, 11 o'clock. Just wanted to mention it's coming up at 11. Also, before we do 4 downs, Sunday is a contemporary era committee vote for the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. 16 people. That includes people like Ozzie Smith. They're, people that you recognize their name. First off, I didn't know Fernando Valenzuela is not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I didn't either. Jim asked me this morning, he goes, Fernando Valenzuela, Hall of Famer or not?
I would have said out.
He's on the list they're selecting from to put him in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he burned
burned fast,
Yeah, but it was so good. I think he should be in there.
why a lot of people are watching it is for three names. One of them is Braves great Dale Murphy, who's not in the Hall of Fame. Two-time batting champion, multiple-time All-Star, not in the Hall of Fame. He's on the list.
I think two-time MVP.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Two-time MVP.
That's hard to believe.
Not in the Hall of Fame.
On a bad team.
So
right?
these contemporary people can put these stars from the 80s and 90s in. But on the list, and believed to be their only path to get into the Hall of Fame, are Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds. And there is a chance, this is a Sunday vote. It'll be announced on the Major League Baseball Network on Monday. There's a chance on Monday at some point we find out that Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, deservingly in my opinion, are in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame.
I don't care about the PEDs. I don't care about admissions and what your stance on that is. If those guys aren't in the Hall of Fame, there doesn't deserve to be a Hall of Fame. Roger Clemens is the best pitcher I ever saw from start of career to end, and Barry Bonds is the best player I've ever seen.
I mean, so this is eliminating the old school mustard-stained journalist that's like, by God, I'm not putting them in there.
There are some journalists on there. Steve Hertz, a baseball historian. Jason Starks, an athletic reporter. Tyler Kepner is the athletic reporter for baseball. There is former players, Robin Yount, Alan Trammell, Ozzie Smith, Tony Perez, Juan Marichal, Hall of Fame pitcher still alive. Jim Cott is on there. Ferguson Jenkins is on there. So there's some players that you recognize. I'm just checking to make sure. No, Pete Rose is not on the list. These are stars from the 80s and 90s, but Pete would have fallen into the early 80s. He's not on that list. We expect Pete Rose now to eventually make it into the Hall of Fame.
I mean, it's been lifted. The ban's been lifted, so you got to put him in the Hall now, right?
Yeah. Bonds, Clemens, Mattingly, Murphy, Delgado, Jeff Kent, Gary Sheffield, Fernando Valenzuela. They're going to pick up to 3 from that list. Yeah. No more than 3.
Well, it's a good list. I think that, half of that list is very deserving. I just think Hall of Fame, you should be exceptional. Like, you've got to be one of the top 2 or 3 players in your league for a couple of years, in my opinion, to get there. But
4 Downs, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light today. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. You see them. We appreciate everything they do for us all the time, and they bring us 4 Downs.
First down.
So I was going to ask you a question on Julian Sayin and Fernando Mendoza, but we kind of did it, so I'll veer off and I'll do a quick NFL question. Your 2 top seeds in the AFC and the NFC, the 11-2 New England Patriots, the 9-3 Chicago Bears. Who do you have more confidence with going forward, the Bears or the Patriots? Both quarterbacks in year 2 and both first-year head coaches.
I have not looked at both upcoming schedules, but we covered the Bears yesterday, and it's quite challenging.
Yeah. I would say just the way I read that is if they were in the playoffs, could they win the Super Bowl? To me, New England better than Chicago on chances to win a championship.
So I trust Vrabel a little bit more than I do Ben Johnson. Yeah, Ben Johnson still is in, what is this, game 11 for him, game 12 as a head coach?
They've got the Patriots. They host the Bills. They've already beaten them in Buffalo.
Beat them in Buffalo.
They've got to go to Baltimore. They're on the road against the Jets, and then they've got your Dolphins at home.
Yeah, let's hope that game is meaningless for the Patriots, Lance.
I mean, even 2-2, 13 wins.
Yeah, that's probably going to get you the 1 seed. Yeah. I would go Patriots then, I think.
Second down.
Is Drake May the better of the 2 quarterbacks? He is, right?
I think right now he is.
Yeah, right now
he's more consistent.
Yeah, I mean, he just seems like a more athletic Tom Brady. I mean, it's crazy. Let's go. Better chance of pulling a double-digit upset in a conference championship game. Troy over JMU or BYU over Texas Tech?
Got to be BYU. I mean, I guess JMU, Bob Chesney's taking the UCLA job. They're going to hire Billy Napier, which is an interesting hire.
I think it's a great hire for James Madison.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, he was good on that level with ULL, so.
Yeah, I think it's a really good hire.
Yeah. But Chesney is on his way out. You don't know how much that impacts. It's going to have to impact it a lot, though, guys. Detroit's a 23.5-point underdog in this game.
It keeps moving up. You go back to the BYU loss earlier in Lubbock. They lost 29-7. They weren't even in that game. Yeah. I think Bachmeier's gotten a little bit better, and that was probably a learning moment for him. I would say BYU because BYU wins this game. It is going to simplify everything for the committee. Yeah. And I don't think anybody wants that. But I do think BYU's deserving.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to go straight conspiracy theorist, Duke will get 0 calls against Virginia. You'll protect Virginia and the ACC in the playoffs.
You would think.
And Texas Tech will get 0 calls against BYU because Texas Tech is in either way. So if you just want to go, if you believe in those, and I don't, but if you believe in those, the officiating would head towards Virginia and BYU in these 2 situations.
Yeah. I would say that for James Madison, there is a lot of pressure there. Not that there's not for BYU, but they're there now, and they can reach out and touch it.
But they're not even assured of it. I mean,
they're not, but they're James Madison, and if they win, it's a heated discussion that they could be in the playoffs. That's a lot of pressure.
Well, I just want to see Bob Chesney campaigning for. I'm about to leave for UCLA,
Look at what we've done. Yeah.
But we should be able to do this.
I'm gonna actually take Troy.
Boy, what a monumental upset that would be.
Yeah, it really would be.
That Troy is closer to a win than BYU ends up being. Yeah.
John Summerall ain't walking through that door.
He's not.
Third down.
Which quarterback do you trust more at 4 o'clock tomorrow in Mercedes? Gunnar Stockton or Ty Simpson?
I think Simpson. I've seen him probably play at a more elite level at his best than I have with Stockton. And when you consider all things right now, Stockton is playing behind a makeshift offensive line, which it impacted him greatly against Georgia Tech. I've seen speculation that he too is a little bit injured and isn't playing the same, and that's the speculation obviously with Simpson. You heard Fuhrman mention is every time he comes to the bench, they're working on his back, it seems.
Yeah, they have a heating pad, a stimulator that they throw on there a lot, yes. Stockton I don't think is 100% either. What am I trusting them to do? Land the plane?
No, I mean, just
if the game's on their shoulders, who do I trust more? I'm going to go Simpson.
Yeah, I think Ty Simpson has handled some bigger pressure moments better than Gunnar Stockton has at times this year, just because he's been in a bunch of them.
Yeah, but I'd go back to Stockton, what he did in the second half against Texas. How gutty. I thought he got decapitated on that one play and gets up. They end up winning that game. So he does have SEC championship game experience for whatever that means. I lean Stockton, but Stockton's last look wasn't good against Georgia Tech.
And, I mean, early in the year, that second half against Tennessee was huge for Georgia as well for Gunnar Stockton. It just seems like every week Ty Simpson has to be Superman. So I'll go Ty Simpson.
I initially read Georgia's availability report wrong last night and thought it said Zechariah Branch instead of Zion Branch.
Yep.
And I was like, whoa, that's it. And then I reread it. It's like, oh, that's the same.
You guys know he is on pace to become the all-time single-season leader in receptions for Georgia?
Yeah. Zechariah Branch is?
Yeah.
Passing A.J. Green?
He's got 68 now. Yeah. And I didn't really remember this name. You guys tell me if you remember it. 1993. Obviously played with Zaire.
Probably know then.
Bryce Hunter?
Vaguely.
But it seems like I can remember him standing on the sideline doing Soldier Boy.
I think this shows you, man, like, I mean, AJ was an absolute stud, but, like, they just haven't had those dominant receivers, which is very strange.
Yeah.
Fourth down.
Big birthday today. Walt Disney would have been 124 years old. You guys think about this for a second?
His brain still is.
His brain's still there.
Disney on Ice, they say. There's an urban legend that's not true, too.
Scott, Jeeves, Brooks, whoever else wants to chime in on this. If I went ultimately the more impact, the better career, Walt Disney or Elon Musk?
I think Walt Disney has brought more joy to the world.
Yeah.
So I'll go Walt Disney.
Well, I mean, those Tesla nerds, they would disagree with you, but
I mean, he's probably the leader in the electric vehicle. I don't know where the electric vehicle is going to go. They haven't really had the popularity that everyone thought they would have.
That's just kind of the tip of the iceberg for him now, though, right?
No, but then
they take more energy to make than they actually save you.
Yeah,
so
I know.
It's not really useful.
And then he has introduced us into space travel for the average human, which I don't know where that's going to go. Like, I don't know that's going to change our future either.
And before that, he was one of the founders of PayPal.
Yeah, I'd rather sit back and watch Aladdin than go to Mars.
Well, Disney has, long before PayPal, had that little thing I could walk in and just buy anything I want in this park.
It's such a genius invention, too, Jim.
And he's taken my mind into space since the 50s, so I'm going to go Disney on that one.
I would agree.
Yeah, I would go Disney.
I would go
too.
Walt Disney.
Is that 4?
That's 4.
That's 4 downs today. A little developing news in about 20 minutes. 5-star, the number 1 receiver in the country, Chris Henry Jr., who didn't sign with Ohio State on game day, is on signing day, is going to make his announcement live on the McAfee show coming up at 11:10 Central. And he apparently now is choosing LSU and Texas have made strong offers since he didn't sign.
So did Oregon and USC. According to reports, Hayes Fawcett and a guy named Eli Letterman are saying Ohio State and Oregon are the clear leaders, that he'll choose between Ohio State, long commitment, or Oregon. Be interested to see if but apparently they even called this significant offers from LSU and Texas at the 11th hour.
Strong-ass offers.
Yeah, significant offers.
I wonder what those offers are now.
Yeah, me too. Number one receiver still out there.
A game-changing receiver.
Instantly. I mean, freshman wide receivers can make an impact
But
like
here's
that.
the thing. Like, if we've got true valuations on these guys and we've got these new guardrails, so to speak, why are they not more transparent? Why do we not know that?
Because I don't think there is true guidelines.
Well, I know there's not, but I'm just saying, like, if it really is that simple, then I think it would be awesome. Hey, we're giving this guy $3 million.
Yeah. We'll see what that ends up being. Gut feeling maybe it's still Ohio State, but we'll see if Oregon slides in there. The graphic that Hayes Fawcett sends out lists Ohio State, USC, Oregon, Texas, and LSU actually on the graphic. So pretty cool. We'll see how it all ends up. When we come back, we will continue our conversation on college football today, including more on the SEC championship game, Georgia and Alabama. More sound from Kalen DeBoer and Kirby Smart. Show brought to you today by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. Tell us about Michelson.
Yeah, 205-969-8100, the number that I call. The gift of sight this holiday season. If you've got a loved one that wears contacts or glasses, they're wasting money each and every year. It's a pain in the ass with the contacts. You don't have to deal with that anymore. I'm speaking from experience. I wore contacts for about a decade. Got the procedure done way back in 2003. Make the phone call that I made more than 2 decades ago. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt, can't work, don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama. No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
The beauty of the holiday is at the center of your table with the New York Butcher Shop. Their selection of USDA certified Angus prime rib roast, beef tenderloins, and fillets, as well as premium pork and lamb cuts, are the finest selections available in the market and are hand-cut just the way you want. With side dishes handmade by their professional chefs, your holiday meal is complete. Visit one of their 2 locations today, in Cahaba Heights or off Highway 119 in Greystone. Place your order today. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Final hour of the show today, brought to you by Storm Restoration Roofing. Our buddy Greg from Pell City, all the great things that he loves and does for you right there. Locally owned for over 20 years. He and his wife, Andrea, 205-542-3531, stormrestorationroofing.com. You can find out details about a soft wash that he has for your roof now. And you say, Jim, why do I need to wash the roof? Well, you get some staining, especially here in the south and the north and northeast corner, just the way the sun hits, that makes your roof look older than it really is. In fact, Greg has had clients who have said there have been some insurance agents who have tried not to pay on a roof damage or roof replacement because it's a end of life, and they've denied the claim initially, and he's gone in there, washed that roof, and sort of worked with the insurance company to try to get it on the other side of that. Makes your roof look fantastic. That's another service he offers for you, the soft wash. You can ask Greg about that when you're getting a free, no-cost roof inspection. 205-542-3531, stormrestorationroofing.com, or Greg from Pell City. Storm damage repair, roof replacements, and all that at Storm Restoration Roofing. And our friends at Champy's Chicken. Highway 119 in Alabaster, they always bring you the final hour of our show every day, and they have it since day one. So this is the 1,094th time minimum that I've told you that the best place for lunch, if you're bringing anybody from the north to the south and they want to taste real good southern food, deep fried chicken from Sterling on Highway 119 in Alabaster is the place to go. Brined overnight, cooked to order, juicy down to the bone, all the wonderful in-house made sides, and the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. It's all right there, champy'schicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Confusing story going on out there where Penn State's athletic director, Pat Kraft, has been recorded secretly, which I think is against the law.
It depends on what state you're in. There's some states that are one-party states, as I understand the law, Jim.
Now, it's alleged audio, like LT says often. You never really know if it's AI, if it's real, if it's really Pat Kraft, who is the Penn State AD, right? Is that who Pat Kraft is?
That's who he is, yeah.
Is he, if that's really him talking, but people believe this is really him, secretly recorded audio, where he says things like, Terry Smith is a real candidate for the job. People like Michael Parsons are saying, I want him to get the job.
Well, I mean, it's easy for those guys to say they're past this. I don't even know what's going on in the locker room.
We saw it at Auburn with Durkin. UAB just hired the interim in Alex Mortensen, and I love Alex and hope he does well. Boy, that rally for the interim is so tricky. Everybody rallies behind the interim.
You and I were talking about the Terry Smith line, and we were like, I don't think there is one.
Yeah,
there is one now, yeah. And it's coming into play.
According to the alleged audio, when one of the dings against his Penn State job is a tough place to recruit, he says, allegedly, Oregon. Have you ever been to Oregon? Ain't S going on there. It's a bunch of F and weirdos, and he uses the S and the F words.
So he starts taking shots at other people.
Yeah.
Hey, Oregon seems to be recruiting okay. I don't know if you've looked at the rankings.
And he really, in this leaked audio, allegedly allegedly audio of him questioned the way James Franklin spent the NIL money. No doubt Franklin brought in a lot of talent, but Kraft in this alleged leaked audio alleges that Franklin refused to play more talented younger players over less talented veteran players because he was very loyal to the people who stayed in the system.
Yeah, that'll get you fired. My question would be, do they have a general manager?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that.
Like, I really believe in today's college football,
100%.
and I could be wrong, but I think you need a general manager and a head coach that have a great relationship on the same page, and they are both very, very involved in personnel.
I'm 100% with you. The way Florida went about it is interesting. I'm interested to see how that works, where they go hire a general manager and a coach, very NFL style. But I'm with Lance. You got to have a good general manager now. But so
one more thing that he says here that I want your reaction to. Again, alleged audio that has leaked out of the AD at Penn State who says that Michigan and Oregon, quote, cheated their balls off.
That was painful.
And Oregon is filled with, as I said earlier, a bunch of effing weirdos.
Hey, does Oregon
35 minutes long, the recording.
35.
Hey, does Oregon have Penn State on the schedule? Because we know they do next year. Dan Lanning will light their asses up.
He does not back down.
We'll see if this ends up being real audio or not, but everyone is talking about this alleged leaked audio of Penn State AD Pat Kraft. I don't know how you feel about. I don't like secret recordings. I think that's. I just don't think you should do them.
Oh, I agree. I mean, look.
Well, Tyler seems to disagree.
Well, I mean, it depends. We are a, what is it called? A one-party
state.
Yeah, one-party state where Tyler and I have a conversation. He can record me without me knowing. I mean, look, if you've got, let's just say an employer that is harassing you. If you've got somebody really in the wrong, I think if you're recording somebody just to expose an internal secret or something, and I think there are some things that don't need to be said like that.
Different safety reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, things like that. National security. Yes, I'm talking about in sports in a team meeting setting. Is what I'm talking about. Should we be spying on people that keep Americans safe? Yes, 100%. And I'm okay if they, as I told Brown just the other day for some reason, they can read every one of my emails and listen to every one of my phone calls. If it helps keep America safe, it does not bother me. Because, as Brownie and I talk, it's going to be pretty boring. Whoever's having to monitor my phone
Mine's
calls.
a lot about golf and food.
Yeah, so it doesn't bother me. But in a meeting like this, where he thinks he's talking candidly to his players, I do not like that at all.
Yeah, that should be sacred. That should be.
You're violating the trust of the team and the guy beside you at that point.
So I've recorded someone without their knowledge. It was someone from the management company that ran my old apartment. That's because they wouldn't get rid of the raccoons. And so I recorded audio of them saying they knew they were nesting there and knew it was illegal to keep them there.
Oh, did you do it like a movie? Like, oh, maybe these words will change your mind. And then you play it?
Or
I did not.
Did you just file suit and got a nice check and moved out and lease was broken?
Well, see, at the end of our lease, they actually tried to sue me. And I was like, I've got this recording here. And
then you play it and it says,
and then I didn't pay whatever they said I owed.
I've got this recording right here, and you hit play, and it's like, hey Siri, play.
When you moved out, you just leave the door open.
I mean, I should have, but they'd probably find a way to charge me.
Raccoons were already in.
So the Penn State reports now are that they've turned their attention to Matt Campbell, and it's starting to trend in his direction.
I think Terry Smith's very much in play, though he's in play at Memphis, by the way.
Oh, is he? Well, he can't be in play over Matt Campbell. And if you hire Matt Campbell, what in the world have you been doing for the last month? If you can hire this guy, how is he not? I mean, really, hit your first call. Give me a candidate, realistic candidate. Kalen DeBoer obviously is not that. a realistic candidate you've heard for Penn State that's above the Matt Campbell line for you?
Well, I think if Matt Campbell was going to take this job, he would have already taken it, right? Like, they needed help with this recruiting class.
The reports are that Matt Campbell is trending towards him, and they could announce it today. But again, remember the reports where Matt Campbell was upset that he was so far back. That was the initial report, was they were about to turn towards Matt Campbell. They could have gotten him early, but now he does not want to be an afterthought. Apparently, according to other reports now, Matt Campbell has softened on that, and he could be the guy. I have no earthly idea. Penn State has botched this so bad. It's as bad a coaching search as we've seen in quite a while.
Again, it's alleged leaked audio, but we talked about the governor and all the chaos at LSU. Would that keep Lane Kiffin away from taking that job? It did not. Would this leaked audio and some of these comments and things like that? Because the one thing it does show is that there is people around Penn State that are that still aren't pulling in the same direction.
Sure.
Would that keep you from taking the job if you're Matt Campbell? Would this show up on your radar at all? Leaked audio like this?
Matt Campbell has got it so good at Iowa State. But I think Matt Campbell is realistic enough to know he's never winning a national championship at Iowa State land. So if you want to try to win a national championship, Penn State is where you go.
Yeah, but what are your really odds? Like, if I was talking to Matt Campbell, how happy are you right now? Because there really is something, and we've done that threshold before. Like, whenever you make above 85,000 or 120,000 or whatever, your happiness scale never goes up.
Right.
So if Matt Campbell is really, really enjoys being in Ames, what I would do is call Fred Hoiberg. You remember when the mayor left Ames and decided to take the Bulls job? And it just never has been the same for Hoiberg. And then going to Nebraska. And so I would call him and say, hey, man, like, quality of life here, I guarantee a Hoiberg would be like, don't do it. Yeah, they just fired their guy 8 months after playing in the semifinals.
Nittany Sports Now, I don't know what they do.
Nittany Sports Now?
I assume they talk Nittany Lion Sports right now.
Actually, it's Knitting Sports. We're sorry, guys.
Pat Kraft leaked audio gives listeners a glimpse into Penn State football's real problem, is the way they're playing it there. I just reading headlines.
Which is just behind-the-scenes dysfunction.
Yeah. Not everybody pulling the same direction.
Right.
Yeah. Adam Brenneman, who does a wonderful job in college sports. I hope Penn State finds out who recorded that and they are punished. It's a gross violation of trust and not to mention illegal, I guess, in Pennsylvania. And he goes on to say, after listening to it, I actually like Pat Kraft more.
I hate Oregon too.
Yeah. So just some of the takeaways from that is going on there. Just a backdrop to the biggest coaching job that is still vacant right there. Kirk Ferentz coming back for, I think, year 29 at Iowa. Wow. Kyle Whittingham making his decision soon.
Yeah, but they've already named Morgan Scalley will replace him, so that wouldn't be an opening.
That last year.
But he did a really good job coaching this year. Utah's a good football team. Could be a good note to go out on. Still in great shape. Talked on in game day about how enjoying spending more time with his grandkids lately. Something he and Nick laughed about and enjoyed.
Yeah, Ferentz, I saw his press conference when he was asked point blank about it, and he did the same thing. Unless there's something I don't know that you know. But he's like, I'm almost 70. This is what I love doing. I don't play golf. I suck at it. My wife has told me to keep coaching. I just want to keep going as long as I can.
Well, you mentioned his wife, and I think their ties to that community in Iowa City and what they've done for the hospital. He's kind of got that lifetime pass and much deserved based on, basically winning 8 games on average every single year. But the thing that sucks kind of for Iowa fans is, you look at what's going on right now with Indiana, and with Ferentz, it's not going to be like that until he's gone. Like, I just don't think they're ever going to be at a spot where they're going to win 11 games.
So he had to can his son because the offense was so bad.
Yeah.
And they changed offensive coordinators, and they scored 28.9 a game. Last year, I was going to go back and look at last year, Dunaway, before he canned his kid, 27.7.
All right.
We had to punt the kid. We increased it 1 point a game.
Iowa football just going to a normal bowl. Back to the SEC championship game in a second. First, a little breaking news brought to you by our friends at Hemphill Services, LT.
205-229-2090 if you've got any problems with the heating, the cooling, the plumbing. My man, Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, they are ready to serve you. Tell them the next round sent you. Hard to stop a train. Trust the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for any and all of these issues. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
So this is not terribly surprising, but Pete Thamel, who does a very good job reporting on injuries and player availability, is reporting right now that, according to his sources, Alabama tailback Jam Miller faces long odds to be available against Georgia in the SEC title game. The good news is he's expected back for the postseason. The injury isn't considered serious. I don't know if you guys are like me. I know you were there, Jim. You probably saw it in real time. But when the cameras cut to him going off on crutches, it looked done for the year right there.
Yeah. And, I mean, just the pain he's played in with the shoulder all year. I mean, there was a significant injury to start the season, and he's played through that all year. So I also think it's important that you tell the selection committee that it is not a season-ending injury for everybody.
Yep.
Like,
he's coming back.
Yeah, we could be putting Humpty Dumpty back together. Jeff Allen could be out there picking up eggshells, putting Humpty Dumpty back together, and said it is not season ending on Saturday. But that's interesting news. So too is Chris Henry, the wide receiver, 5-star wide receiver. He is staying with his Ohio State commitment, so he picks Ohio State, the nation's #1 receiver, and the guy who has Alabama in the situation they're in, Thomas Castellanos at Florida State. His waiver for another year has been denied, according to Mike Norvell at Florida State. He's going to get legal representation and try to go to court and battle for another year. But Mike Norvell says Castellanos is out of eligibility.
He play CFL.
Was this you're right, it's not NFL, right, with his size. Was this the same principle that Pavia was going on the JUCO?
I do not know.
Because Pavia's is still out there, and Joey Aguilar has teamed up with him.
Yes. So that gets us back to the SEC championship game, brought to you by our friends at Dr. B's place right now. The guy in hairy situations, when you've lost it, he'll get it back for you.
Yeah, T3hair.net. Stop wasting money and critical time while you're losing hair on treatments that aren't working for you. Go see Dr. Beckenstein and that great staff. Find out what will work for you. T3's got that new test. It's easy, painless, affordable, takes seconds to perform. It's going to show which medicines and compounds will specifically work for your hair loss. There are over 10 categories of agents they use, knowing they will work for you. They will custom compound these agents for you in pill or topical forms. You pick and choose which agents you want. Men and women ordering products online don't even know if they work. Stop doing it. 205-319-0316. Make sure you tell Dr. B and that great staff the next round sent you. For more information, T3hair.net.
Okay, we all know the number. Kirby is 1-7 all time against Alabama in this situation in Atlanta for the SEC championship game, a couple of times for a national championship where he's 1-1. Kirby gets asked about the mental aspect against Alabama.
Coach, how would you assess the mental aspect of this game with both programs, considering the history that's happened between both programs in this game?
I don't think these kids pay much attention to any kind of history because, I mean, their roster is almost as new as ours. I mean, I think both of us are averaging 34% new guys. We did play them last year in a classic game. We played them this year in a classic game. And then, multiple years in this game. But I think it's pretty clear that each and every game has a history and life of its own, and you play the game that season with the guys you have and the mindset of the guys you have. So I don't think these other games will have any effect on this one.
That's all true with the players. But I ask you guys, mentally for the head coach of the Georgia Bulldogs, does it seem like he coaches this game differently than he does other games?
You can go back and point maybe at some things, like one of them. Well, I'll point it to, actually. I mentioned the play earlier, the Cash Jones 4th down. I thought it was a little out of character for Kirby. I think normally he takes points there, historically.
Well, it takes points, or you run a different play. Bowens was, getting 4 or 5 yards.
For some reason, that staff really likes Cash Jones. They use him in critical down situations.
The obvious, though, is 2018.
Punt. Yeah, the fake punt. I mean, that is so out of character for Kirby.
Cost them the game. And, you wonder if that doesn't happen, they win that game, does it shift a little bit?
Yeah.
Who knows?
If you go back to Kalen DeBoer's first year, this seems like forever ago, their defensive performance in the first half against Milroe was so out of character I say that. There was occasionally times in Tuscaloosa where they would run up against a quarterback that was playing so far above his game. And
when Kirby was the defensive coordinator at Tuscaloosa.
Yeah. And they would be down 3 touchdowns or 2 touchdowns, and you're like, what in the world is going on?
Remind me in the second half against Alabama in the 2017 National Championship game when Tua comes in, It seemed like at that point, Fromm played differently in the second half. I know he had a turnover or two. Did they get a little conservative?
I think they did. I think that was the criticism of Kirby that, you think because they've gone to a backup quarterback, you've got this game, just don't turn it over.
They may have been a little conservative after they got the lead in the first half going into the locker room. Didn't they miss a kick?
You're tasking me to
too.
remember that far back.
Not important.
Yeah, no, but I do think, Lance, to your point, I think probably they felt like, I think certainly, Jim, in the first half, they felt like with Jalen Hurts in the game, we've got this thing won. Yeah. Rightfully so. If Saban does not make the change, they win that game.
Yeah, all the way back in 2017. That's how bad these memories go back. But earlier this year, they played in Athens, Kalen DeBoer, on a rematch situation. He's had to do this a couple of times, even in his national championship run or national championship game run at Washington, where they met Oregon a couple of times.
I think what you see between us and Georgia now, you see two teams that do what you know you need to do. You say it, but you do it. Doing it is the key, and that's improve each and every week. Learn from your mistakes. Understand your strengths. Develop players. There's new guys on both of our teams that are making plays that probably weren't as big a part of the game plan back in week 4, and so. That's a tribute to Coach Smart and what he does with his program, developing their players, and I know that's something we take a lot of pride in as well. So, you understand what that game was about, but you also understand more who you are now. There are things that you maybe tried or that that didn't go as well the first time around that you learn a lesson or two from. But there's an identity now, and you still got to do what you do. But it has changed some because it's 8 games since we played that one. So both teams have continued to evolve. Both teams have continued to improve.
Yeah, that's Kalen DeBoer on the rematch. One more here because this is sort of something we talked to him about in the post game down at Jordan-Hare. The ability for Alabama since losing to Florida State to take every game like it's a playoff game. And he gets asked, does this feel like a playoff game now that Bama's 9th in the rankings and there's just the SEC championship game left?
Coach, I'm wondering, with everything that's on the line this week, how much does this feel like a playoff game?
Well, we're just focused on it being the SEC championship and what that means to our program. You start the season, and this is best conference of college football, and to be playing in this game, I tell our guys they earned this. We're the home team, the number 1 seed. And so for us, they earned every bit of this opportunity. A great challenge ahead of us for sure. But man, this is what our program's been built on, is winning championships, and it starts with an SEC championship. And so, it's a long road to get to this spot, to be, again, 7-1, really 2 points away from being 8-0. And, that's the way we look at it. And just guys are excited to, go really try to attack one of the goals that we had from the beginning.
It's just such a weird spot to be in. It's my opinion, and I think you guys share this opinion, that they play tomorrow, and the outcome of that game, their playoff possibilities are a road trip to College Station, a road trip to Norman, Oklahoma, or a bye. I mean, that's
and what he just said.
It's kind of a weird spot to be in.
And that's something I think the committee really needs to take a look at. Like, if I'm part of the committee, it's almost like, let's go on and lock them in and let's not watch how this game plays out. Yeah. Now, you can't do it because you could have circumstances where Ty Simpson gets injured and he's not going to be able to play, and I think that would factor into it. But, if you go back and you don't lose that 2-point game to Oklahoma, you are 8-0. Oklahoma is squarely in this. Even if you lose to Georgia, you've now split with Georgia and you beat them on their home turf. So,
that's a great point that gets talked about in the room that we don't talk about enough, is that now you split with them.
Yeah, so what have you accomplished? Okay, so they beat you by 21 on a neutral site, but you'd already beaten them on their home field.
Yeah, and then you factor in the injuries, which the committee can take into effect, is the injury. And I would tell you this, too. I mentioned it yesterday, Brown. There's also that scenario that they don't make it all the way to 4th, and they make it to 5th if Alabama wins the game, where they're hosting a game.
Yeah.
So there's 1,000 scenarios out there for them.
That seems unlikely to me, but it is a scenario. There's no doubt. So here's what Hunter Yurachek said, by the way. So he does the interview with Reese, for those that don't know. And then he goes and does a teleconference with the national media, and he gets way more questions. Reese is limited on his time, obviously. So he gets way more questions there. So
Reese, you've got 3 minutes for this interview.
Yeah, and Reese is like, I don't know if I can talk to this guy for 3 minutes. He's a terrible interview. So here's the question. Hunter, I wanted to follow up for broader clarification since he was asking specifically about Notre Dame Miami. Can a team presently outside the 12-team field that does not play in a conference championship game move into the field? Is that possible? So in other words, Miami, can they move in?
Yeah. Last year the committee said no, they could not. That if you are not playing this weekend, your spot is set, and they try to address that in the offseason.
Hunter Yurachek answers, yes, idle teams can move based on the results of the championship games. So this involves Alabama now, right? There may be something that happens in a championship game that impacts an idle team, whether that's their strength of schedule or some other data point that we use, or, and here's the key, or there could be a team that suffers a significant loss in a title game. I think the reasonable people listen to that and think he's talking about a score, though you could look at it and say he's talking about a player.
Yes.
Like you lose a Ty Simpson or something like that in a title game. I don't know what you define as a significant loss. Though.
Well, I mean, we know what
it
it was for Florida State. I mean, the precedent has been set.
That was a player significant loss, right? But a significant loss in a title game, score-wise, I mean, what's that score to you?
What it was going to be if SMU had not come back last year. It was going to be a significant amount, and it was going to kick them out. Here is Kalen DeBoer on the narrative that Alabama has to win this game to be in the playoffs. What does the Alabama coach think?
I mean, it kind of blows my mind, as that's the exact words I used before, that we're really having this debate. I don't say that with any arrogance, because I understand there's a lot of good football teams out there, but we earned getting to this point. We're 4-1 against ranked teams. I mean, we're 2 points away from being 5-0 against ranked teams throughout the year. Every A4 team except for Wisconsin that we played this season, before, during, or after us, was ranked. And again, a 7-1 record, almost 8-0, 2 points from being 8-0. 4-0 on the road in the SEC, that jumps out at me. That's hard to do in the environments. Our guys have been tested, and teams coming off buys. I mean, it doesn't matter. There's our guys have been tested, and we get to this point. We are playoff ready. We are focused on this game. We have not had one conversation about that, but we want to take care of business this Saturday and enjoy, again, the opportunity that lies right in front of us to play in the SEC championship.
Yeah. So that's his case, while others make theirs to be in, why his should be there regardless of the outcome in Atlanta.
Everybody's got a case. I saw people on social media last night using the numbers, and you can make numbers do whatever you want, but the set of numbers they were using, they're like, BYU's resume is better than Notre Dame's or Miami's.
Oh, it is.
Why is BYU not the discussion?
Yeah, and
here?
the one they're getting punished for is like a team out of nowhere that is fully funded with a billionaire. That's their one loss in Lubbock.
Yeah, their 2 losses for the year could be to a team in the top 3.
They could win the national championship.
A team with a first-round bye,
I don't think they will, but if Barry Morton got on a heater with that defense, and can you imagine if BYU sitting there, if Texas Tech cut through the playoffs, which they won't, but if they did.
And BYU sitting on the outside that's their losses,
We go to break here, brought to you by our friends at Inverness Country Club. The developing news is the SCORE Act. Remember all those commercials that you saw, paid for, I believe, by the Texas Tech billionaire?
Wasn't he the guy that was on there? I thought he was the guy that was talking.
I don't know if he was or not, but he was one of the guys funding the lobbying machine to pass the SCORE Act, right? Is that what the ad was saying?
Yes, they wanted the SCORE Act passed, if I remember correctly.
The NCAA wanted the SCORE Act passed as well. The SCORE Act is dead. After years of lobbying, it was pulled from the House floor because it didn't have enough votes. Women's player associations are calling it a direct threat to women's college athletics, the lesser schools. I will tell you, we're one step closer. I know it's a word that scares people or people don't think it's real. We're one step closer to a super league today because the NCAA is, as this guy writes, the NCAA's lobbying machine is now broken in Washington.
In the lobbying, one congressman, did you see this? He called Tony Petitti. This is a congressman, called Tony Petitti a jackass because he was.
Well, we've lost all decorum in Washington.
It was in a tweet called Tony Petitti a jackass because he was funding the lobbying groups against the SCORE Act. And he's like, all these people talk, they want significant change, and we bring something to the table that can be significant change, and he's spending all his money on lobbyists against it. So that should tell you where the powers, some of the power anyway, in college football stood on this act.
Hey, if you are looking for a unique holiday idea for the entire family, how about a membership to the Inverness Country Club? You're a big golfer. The wife loves the social aspect. Childcare, also a big plus. Maybe she works from home. What about working from the club while they watch your kid? The Inverness Country Club, they've got memberships that fit everyone. Whatever your interests are, you can find it right there. Maybe you relocated to retired. Inverness is a great place to network. Take a tour of the club today. Call Aaron. Tell her the next round sits you. 205-991-8608. You can always go online, iccalabama.com.
And our friends at Champy's Chicken, they bring you this final hour. We'll get the trash coming up. Hey, listen, you want to go get some good food. Look at all the stuff on that picture right there. It's simple. Right there, the Alabaster exit, I-65 on 119, about a mile off the exit there. You'll meet that man, Sterling, his wonderful family, his crew there. They've been there for over a decade. Great Southern comfort food. Don't sleep on the hand-cut chicken fingers. They're delicious, delicious. All the in-house made sides and in-house made desserts, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. Highway 119 in Alabaster. It is Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt? Can't work? Don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama. No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Think about the best summer nights of your life. How many of those were in a great t-shirt? Visit nextround.store to get the perfect t-shirt for the next perfect southern night. Nextround.store. The memories are waiting.
The beauty of the holiday is at the center of your table with the New York Butcher Shop. Their selection of USDA certified Angus prime rib roast, beef tenderloins, and fillets, as well as premium pork and lamb cuts, are the finest selections available in the market and are hand-cut just the way you want. With side dishes handmade by the professional chefs, your holiday meal is complete. Visit one of their 2 locations today, in Cahaba Heights or off Highway 119 in Greystone. Place your order today. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well done service.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Breaking news brought to you by our friends at the Pants Store, your game day headquarters for all the great wear for the young football fan in your life. But let me tell you, when you're talking about Alabama and Auburn gear, go by the Pants Store, the great locations in Auburn and Tuscaloosa, Hoover and Birmingham and Huntsville and all over. It's our friends at the Pants Store. Famous name brands like Horn Legend, Cutter and Buck, Antigua Gentile. War Eagle and Roll Tide during the holiday season for the ladies as well. The fall boots, the perfect dress, the rompers, all with free alterations, free gift wrapping. All those stores I told you about are online at pantstore.com.
On 3 Sports, Pete Nakos reporting Penn State is working to finalize a deal to hire Iowa State head coach Matt Campbell.
Good hire.
Well, yeah, but what have you been doing for the last month if this is the guy you can hire?
Well, don't get that.
Maybe they told him...
wait till after signing day.
Well, maybe they told him no first.
Well, then you're an idiot. Well, I mean, what were they going to hire better than Matt?
You know,
Campbell?
and
maybe he told him no.
Told
first.
them no.
Yeah,
okay.
and now you sit there and you wait and you think about it, and
I don't
you
know.
feel different. I don't know.
You know, and there will be some Penn State fans that'll look at this and they'll be like, well, his record's not good against top 25s. I don't think they realize, or some people don't, the differential in roster talent. And, you know, Matt Campbell maybe got to a point where he believes he can win one of these national championships. And, you know, look at the NIL difference from what you've got in Ames to what you've got there. Let's not forget last year they were 11-3, and they were playing in this game this weekend against Arizona State to get to a college football playoff.
So I think there are a couple facets on this. Number one, I really thought Matt Campbell was Iowa State for life.
I started to believe that.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, I just didn't think he would ever leave. Number two, I do think part of the appeal for Matt Campbell is he has won at a nice level. Again, to Lance's point, just this time last year playing for a spot in the college football playoff. He has won at a nice level at a place where it's really difficult to recruit. And I think you face some of that in State College. So he's figured out how to do that in Ames. Maybe that can translate to a bigger stage at Penn State. You never know.
Do you think there was also a possibility that a former protege of his, in Alex Golish, had conversations with him over the last week plus, getting advice from him, and then he started processing, well, this is kind of exciting. Like, Alex had a good thing going at South Florida, but now he's making this move and talking about what future goals are for Golish, and then he starts thinking to himself, maybe it's time for me to make a move. You never know what really prompts somebody and gets them going in that direction.
Well, you probably, when you, all these years, you sit there and there's just a few jobs that you're like, man, if I ever coach there, that would be the only place I'd leave for, and Penn State may have been one of those jobs or something like it.
Brandon immediately says in the chat room, Penn State fired a guy that averaged 9.5 wins a year for a guy that averages 5 losses a year. Dude, Penn State and Iowa State are not even they're barely the same sport.
Yeah.
Let's don't compare what you could do at Iowa State. And look, he may fail at Penn State, but you can't say, oh, James Franklin did this at Penn State, Matt Campbell did this at Iowa State. That is not a fair comparison. Those two are not playing the same level of football.
They are not.
No, they're not. I mean, the resources aren't the same. The conferences aren't the same. I mean, there's so much different.
All right, let's get to trash, and then we'll put some final thoughts on Alabama and Georgia afterwards. Trash today being brought to you by our friends at Company Distilling.
If you've been waiting to try a whiskey as good as the company you keep, now is your moment. Our friends at Company Distilling, they are available throughout the state of Alabama. The man behind the bottle, the master distiller, Jeff Arnett, former master distiller at Jack Daniels. Got to try this product. You're going to love it. I've got some of the apple. I've got some of the maple. It is a fantastic product. Great price point as well. If you're looking for that stocking stuffer for the bourbon lover in your household, you can get a bottle of Company Distilling. Ask for it by name. For more information, companydistilling.com/Alabama.
Sandra, how far has this family come?
We came from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
One of my favorites right there.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. The weekend is here. You're going to be watching conference championship games. Pick up the delicious taste of Bud Light. Detroit has finally raised its long-awaited RoboCop statue, bringing a 15-year plan to life in one of the city's busiest public markets. I didn't realize there was such an attachment with RoboCop in the city of Detroit.
Okay, another movie I have not seen. My assumption is
shocker.
What? I know.
Yeah, it's good
at this point, but it's based in Detroit, I assume?
Yeah, futuristic Detroit.
Okay.
Now, there are some interesting angles to this, though. Now, the 3,500-pound bronze statue you see right there was installed this past Wednesday at the Easter Market. The piece stands atop a 1,500-pound base and was produced by sculptor George Geikus and his team at Venus Bronze Works. The installation marks the end of a long development timeline that began way back in 2011 when Detroit filmmaker and designer Brandon Wally and members of the arts nonprofit Imagination Station launched a Kickstarter to fund the project. Campaign raised more than $67,000 with nearly $60,000 collected to commission an 11-foot tall replica. Now, RoboCop became cultural icon after the 1987 film about a cyborg police officer who protects a futuristic version of Detroit. Although the movie was filmed mostly in Dallas, depicted a bleak, fictionalized version of the city. A fan tweet to then Mayor Dave Bing helped spark the statue concept. Bing went on to say, Philadelphia has a statue of Rocky, and RoboCop would kick Rocky's butt. He's a great ambassador for Detroit.
I mean, I agree. I haven't seen RoboCop, but I tend to agree.
There is such a natural affiliation with the Rocky statue in Philadelphia. I've actually been to that statue. This doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but hey, to each their own, right?
Got to get somebody to visit Detroit some way.
But Tyler, judging from this photo, I don't know that they've built it in like a heavy touristy location. I'm
Correct.
just judging from this photo.
Well, I wonder how many, like, honestly, you two, like, Tyler, you've seen the film, right? I've seen it a couple of times. I saw it when it came out in 1987, and I saw it actually in the last couple of years with Jack.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
I've seen
No,
pieces
Peter
of
Weller.
it. He's got a red light that goes like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if you guys walk by that without hearing this story, if you haven't seen that red light done away in years, would you be like, oh, damn, there's RoboCop?
Oh, no.
I would think
Not
it's a
at all.
Transformer.
Yeah, I would go some Marvel character.
Is that Optimus Prime?
I'd probably confuse it and say, oh, that's the head, who's the guy that looks like Charlie Sheen, but it's not Charlie Sheen.
Brown, you just blew my mind there.
What'd I say?
Arnold Schwarzenegger in RoboCop?
That's what I thought. Is he Terminator? No, he's in Terminator.
Yes,
Okay.
he is the Terminator.
Yes, okay.
That blows my mind.
I've not seen Terminator.
Is
no.
he not RoboCop too?
I thought so too, but they
What
tell
are
me
we
it's not.
doing?
No, they
He's
tell
seen
me
Hearts War, though.
God, I mean, the stuff Lance holds against me.
Wait.
Zootopia.
Schwarzenegger
I like
is not
Zootopia.
RoboCop as well?
No. I thought the same thing, Jim.
Well, that makes more sense to me now because I always wondered if you did Terminator, why did you need to do RoboCop? They seem to be so much alike.
Well, one is a cop to protect society,
right,
and one actually comes from the past or from the future to come back and protect a certain individual from one of the Terminators.
I know, but if Schwarzenegger's playing both roles, they seem to be so like. I was like, God, he's going to get typecast in this role.
No, the guy that actually plays the RoboCop, it's a cop that actually gets shot down early in the movie, and they come back. It's almost like the $6 million man.
Yeah, Bonnie Man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know who would like this story is our guy Brandon Marcello. He had the RoboCop tattoo. He's a big fan. You remember that?
I do remember that.
And that was when I hated to bring up at the moment that I had not seen the movie. Like, Brandon is so dedicated to get a tattoo. I was like, I never saw it.
Is this the monkey? I thought the final monkey was killed, or is this a different monkey?
The Mississippi monkeys?
There were still a couple on the loose last time we checked in.
They also are not infected, right? We know that.
Well, Forrest, a young adult, was 21 among 21 monkeys being transported for the biomedical research. When the truck they were in overturned on October 28th, 5 monkeys were killed. Law officers searched for them in the immediate aftermath of the crash. Video from officers' body cameras show chaotic scene as monkeys that escaped from their wooden crates dashed around the interstate median, with some running towards cars and trailers on the interstate. Forrest and 2 other monkeys eluded officers at the crash site, eventually escaped. 2 others later shot and killed by civilians who said they were protecting families and neighborhoods, while Forrest spent about a week on the run before being spotted by a resident who lives near the crash scene. Now, he was captured by workers from one of the companies that had been transporting the load of monkeys. Officials have said residents have been told not to approach the monkeys, saying they're known to be aggressive. So he has been found.
I don't know what I would do.
Relocated to a nonprofit animal refuge in New Jersey.
I was out on my screened in the back of my house back when the weather was a little bit nicer.
Right.
And I heard some rustling behind me, and I was like, what the crap is that? And a fox had weaved through my fence and was in my backyard, and then it took off running. Imagine if that were a monkey. Like, it was a little startling that it was a fox. You don't see a fox very often. But just imagine if it's a monkey. Like, if you're just sitting on your screened in, enjoying the afternoon, and a monkey comes through.
How much would it change things for you? Like, what would you do? Would you make a phone call?
Like, the fox is supposed to be there. The monkey is not.
But would you make a phone call?
Yeah, well, who am I going to call? Animal control? I guess, right? I'm going to call 911.
I mean, would you pull out a gun? Would you just let it go?
I don't think I would shoot the monkey.
And you've seen Outbreak, right?
I have seen Outbreak.
He spits in Patrick Dempsey's eye, and what happens?
But who's to say the fox
goes to one movie and then it almost ends?
Who's to say the fox isn't as dangerous as the monkey, though? What's the fox carrying in his mouth?
I don't think the fox can carry the type of diseases a monkey can carry, and especially one coming from a medical research center.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't just assume. Well, I guess I should assume the monkey's from a medical.
I hate to say this because
it's not a wild monkey running around.
No, you're right.
I mean, monkeys overall, I'm indifferent. I think they're entertaining to watch on some of these video clips, but probably would shoot the monkey and have a good reason to do it.
If they take the wide shot again, look, it looks like President Trump's about to play a game show.
What are they doing, Dunaway? What is this?
He's going to actually draw one of the pools. I don't know if they bumped somebody. But like Tom Brady's drawing one, I believe, and a couple others.
So Dunaway told me earlier that they're going to draw this thing. I thought it would take like 3 minutes. This thing's been on an hour, and they haven't even picked a team yet.
49 minutes.
This is probably as boring as a regular soccer match is.
Yeah, right now they've drawn 0 names. There have been 0 goals scored.
Yes.
But the president is actually going to participate in the drawing.
Okay.
Would you guys ever attempt, I know the answer, but wouldn't you find it really difficult to swallow something like the size of my carved out ram here?
I would, yes.
Yeah.
So police in New Zealand
I'm glad you finished that sentence, yes.
are waiting for nature to take its course after a man allegedly tried to smuggle a $19,000 pendant out of a jewelry store by swallowing it.
Yeah, 19 grand ain't enough. There might be a price where I'll try this if I know I'm going to get the money, but 19 grand ain't that money.
32-year-old man who has not been publicly named is accused of eating an ornate Fabergé octopus pendant at Partridge Jewelers in Auckland on November 28th. Now, at the time of the arrest, he underwent a medical assessment. An officer is assigned to constantly monitor the man. At this stage, the pendant has not been recovered. Now, this is the 007 Special Edition Octopussy Egg Surprise Locket, valued at $33,585. I know you didn't make it past Dr. No, but an Octopussy, this Fabergé egg, is very prominent in the movie.
Yeah.
Seems like it'd be really difficult to swallow that.
I would agree.
If he's swallowing jewelry, is he the kind of guy that you put his picture up at the door at Bromberg's and that you cannot come in?
Yeah, well, you've got those certain people that they're banned from the floor of Bama. This guy would be banned from Bromberg's.
No doubt.
Now, there's only 50 of these eggs worldwide. And they're encrusted with 183 diamonds, 2 sapphires, and it's 3.3 inches tall. What would that? It would cut the.
What's going to hurt more?
Literally would cut your ass out, right?
What's going to hurt more, swallowing it or passing it?
So there was an update to this story this
I
morning.
bet.
Yeah.
Picture on the right here is after it has been passed.
Oh, I would have on gloves, too. Can you zoom in on that? I mean, I'm
Wait,
assuming
and
they
it's still got the price tag on it? He swallowed the price tag?
No, I think they added that after
I think they probably added that afterwards. Yeah, I don't.
Well, I don't know. He's still got his gloves on. Like, aren't you going to clean it up a little better?
This is the person that has recovered it. They've recovered it, right? We called this guy.
Yeah, but that's not the first thing you do when you recover it. You're not going to put the tag back on it.
I think they've
Well,
cleaned
they
it.
probably cleaned it and polished it.
Well, then why
and
does he
put
still
a
have the
tag
gloves
on.
on?
No, I'm with LT.
I keep the gloves on
and it's on a dirty-ass paper towel. You would have like a nice linen to present this on.
Y'all don't think the price tag would look like that if he swallowed it, digested it,
I
and
think it
passed
made it through. I think
There's
it made it
zero
through.
chance.
I will tell you this: when I go out, twice a week, I will go out and pick up chili and bullets remains.
Yeah.
And I got them one of these bark boxes with this Rams stuff in it, and they destroyed it, ate it all within like an hour. And so when I went out back, there was like blue and yellow Rams all over my backyard, and a lot of it was you could still see logos.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and tell you, Brown. They make some recycled paper. They make some recycled paper out of corn.
How much money would you have to swallow before you dig it out of poop?
I mean, it's going to be a lot more than the $19,000. I just got to tell you. I mean, $19,000 is not an insignificant amount of money, but for me to swallow something, pass it, and crap it out,
I can't eat a popsicle because of the wooden stick. I can't imagine me doing this.
Yeah, man, I would. I'd get geared up. I mean, I'd dig through one of y'all's shit to get the $34,000. I mean, I would. Yeah, that's a big nut right there.
I had a friend in high school that I grew up with who, as a kid, he swallowed a family heirloom coin, and his dad had to dig through his poop to get it.
Okay, was there a reason he did it?
How much was it worth?
It was just a kid, like you know how kids will put like stuff in their mouth or whatever. No, it wasn't. I don't think there was a ton of monetary value to it. I think it was just like his great grandfather.
I thought it was like, you're grounded. I'll show you. Where's that coin?
Did you notice in the most Lance thing ever, for him to get the money, one of us was going to have to pass it and crap it out?
Yeah. Well, luckily,
I noticed that part of it, by the way, Lance.
Luckily, depending on what I ate, there's a chance he'd be using a tin horn.
That's terrible. Oh, I caught it on the screen door.
And finally, a former guest right here on the next round. The Tiger King, Joe Exotic, back in the news.
Have you seen the one with Lane Kiffin?
Yeah, it's really good.
It's so good.
Tiger King's Joe Exotic says he's giving fans a way to hear from him directly this holiday season. The former zoo owner selling personal phone calls from federal prison, promoting the offer on Instagram as a Christmas gift.
We've done this.
Now, Exotic, 62 years old, shared a photo of himself in a Santa hat, told followers they could contact him for the details. He wrote, quote, "Help a broke man out. Remember, I didn't get a dime from Netflix." His fault. They stole my footage from YouTube and my computer after they had kidnapped me by the corrupt system. This makes 8 Christmases wrongfully detained in America. Now, he didn't list a price for the calls, but commentators asked how much to sign up. Some said they already had accounts needed to send money into prison, while others asked if international calls were possible. So back in 2024, I never heard this story. Joe Rogan revealed that after the Tiger King filmmakers were guests on his podcast, Exotic began, quote, constantly messaging him in hopes that Rogan would help get him out of prison.
I'm glad he didn't do that to us.
Did somebody not reach back out, or was it the guy that he was talking about, or the other guy that came back in?
No. He dogged somebody out.
The guy on the jet ski, right?
Yeah, he dogged somebody out when he was on the show, and then that person asked if they could come on the show and give their side of the story, which I think we did, right? We let him give his side of the story?
And both Mr. Exotic and Jet Ski Guy both had legions of people with seemingly nothing better to do than spam our Twitter feed and our chat feed with either free Joe or how dare you have Joe on. He should be in prison for the rest of his life for what he did to those
That was a
Cubs.
fun interview, but we stumbled into a lot by doing that interview. I remember that now.
Yeah. This is, who is that? Is that Lane Kiffin?
Oh, there it is.
Forster?
Yeah, that is good right there.
That is Lane.
Yeah.
That's kind of, it's fat Lane too, isn't it? That's not even post hot yoga Lane.
That's Lane's face fitting the body. Yep.
The Tiger King. Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
I bet he doesn't own that tiger.
I think we've still got some of our Tiger King shirts if anyone wants to purchase one at nextround.store.
Interesting.
Price tag still on those?
We don't have price tags on any of our stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's extra production cost.
All right. Is that trash?
That's it. Yeah.
That is trash today. By the way, the other two people on the stage with President Trump at the World Cup draw was the President of Mexico and the Prime Minister of Canada. So they were the other leaders. So they did, I guess, fake draws to put those countries into pools. So they're now leaving. The Stars going to come out and draw the others.
So they still haven't drawn teams yet?
No, that's hour 2, Brownie. Hour 2.
My Lord. They're going to have to kick this thing off.
They placed the host countries, USA, Canada, and Mexico, into their pools.
In the first hour.
Hour 2 coming up.
I noticed.
I mean, by the time they do this, they might as well go ahead and draw the starting stalls for the Kentucky Derby in May.
Kevin Hart was one of the hosts earlier. I noticed that.
Yep, and a taller.
He makes a good elf.
Yeah. Oh, it was Heidi Klum.
Heidi Klum.
Yeah,
I was thinking Kroom, but it's Klum.
No, I think Kevin Hart came to Heidi Klum's elbows.
Yeah, waist, I think. It was waist. All right, that's our show today. One more thought on the SEC championship game before we get out of here. Brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. How does this game play out? Give me a little thought on the game.
Yeah, you were on Bama to start the week. How you feel?
I mean, I feel pretty good. You know, I think the one thing is you look at this Georgia rush defense right now. They're giving up 86 yards per game, 6th nationally against the run, and Alabama without Jam Miller, and Alabama already struggling. I know the numbers weren't bad against Auburn at all, but I just don't know if Alabama's going to be able to get anything on the ground. But look, the numbers are the numbers. Kalen DeBoer, we talked about Kirby Smart, 24-4 against top 10s, not named Alabama, but against Alabama, he's 0-6 against top 10 teams. You look at Kalen DeBoer, 8 games against top 10s in his head coaching career. He's 7-1. His only loss was to Michigan in the national championship game. He lives for these moments, and I think it's going to be a tight game, and I lean Alabama.
We were at this game last year. Lance was not. You and I were, and there was no doubt, Jim, at the start of that game, it did not have the same feel on the field in the stands as a normal SEC championship game. You wonder how much of that carries over to this Georgia team again. They played in this game last year. It just didn't feel the same. This is a big game for Alabama. I don't think their players can go into this the way the Texas and Georgia players did last year where, we're in the NCAA tournament. We're in the college football playoff. It doesn't matter. That's the feel this game had for the first half last year until, oddly, Carson Beck got hurt, and that's kind of what changed things. I don't think Alabama players and coaches can approach it this way, and you wonder how many Georgia players do, even if it's just a slight part of them that approaches it that way. I think Alabama's got the edge here because of that. I think Alabama wins.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Georgia in this one. I just think Alabama's so beat up. They worked so hard to get to this point, and now that they're in the SEC championship game, they're even more beat up than they were. The Cam Dewberry questionable concerns me. Jam concerns me. Cuevas, hopefully he gets back out there. I think Georgia edges out Alabama. Alabama still makes the playoffs on Sunday. That's my thought on the game.
I agree that Alabama's in the playoffs regardless of the outcome of this game.
I guess there are two things that we could maybe do a specialty show on Sunday if Alabama loses by 28+ or there is a massive significant injury.
That is up to you guys. Whatever you want to do. Stay tuned. Set your alerts. And that's our show today. We'll be back with you on Monday morning, and we'll have a full college football 12-team field set. Alabama in it, we believe, regardless of the outcome. Gets really easy if they win the game, though, on Saturday. Then they're automatic and probably looking at a bye. But as I said yesterday, there's only one athletic department in America that's having to prepare for 4 scenarios, and that's Alabama. Bye, host, travel, or bowl game. That's their scenarios this weekend. Been working overtime in the Tuscaloosa athletic department. We'll see you in Atlanta if you're at the game. Send out some at Next Round Live tweets and let us know you're at the game. Carry some gear with you, too. Until next time, God bless you. God bless America.